Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to the Conroe Independent School District Athletics Woodforest Bank Stadium YouTube channel. I'm Jackson Cochran, and to my left is Jeremy McGrail, and we are your voices accompanying tonight's Division I Region II playoff matchup between the Nimitz Cougars and the Woodlands Highlanders. And this evening's game is being played here at the beautiful Woodforest Bank Stadium, which I think the students call it the Bank, located here in Shenandoah, Texas. And Jeremy, we finally made it to that time of the year. It is the postseason for Texas high school football.
Yeah, thank you, Jackson, for that intro tonight. Yeah, just one of the best times of the year as far as I'm concerned, especially here in the state of Texas. Playoff time, Division I Region II bracket, and a chance for the Woodlands to come out here tonight against Nimitz. Do something they didn't do a year ago and win their bi-district game to get started. Of course, last year had to face a really tough Spring Lions team right out of the gate. So you know the Highlanders are chomping at the bit to get out here tonight and line up against this Nimitz Cougar team and get after it here, Jackson.
Yes, and this actually is one of the first times ever that the Woodlands and Nimitz are going to be playing each other. I believe earlier this season it was Grand Oaks and District 13 6A that actually got the chance to play against Nimitz, but this is going to be the Woodlands' first time to ever go head-to-head against this team on the opposite end of the field here at Woodforest Bank Stadium. And just a few things going into tonight's game. I want to let everyone know that the Highlanders, this is their 28th consecutive playoff appearance. How insane is that? 28 straight seasons.
Yeah, the Woodlands program, just a picture of longevity in just a tradition that's been established in this community over several years now. And, yeah, just a really impressive thing to see from the Highlanders.
We're going to come back right at a second after we run these commercials, so tune in and enjoy the ride.
You've got a lot going on, so how do you find time to take care of you? At Houston Methodist, we work around your busy life. There's same-day visits when you're sick, online scheduling with specialists, access to all your records through MyChart, and video visits 24/7 if you need urgent care. Bringing you Houston Methodist's expertise, wherever, whenever you need it.
That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
For over 40 years, Woodforest National Bank has proudly supported the youth and schools of this great community. Our bank has grown through the years, and Montgomery County is our home. With over 30 convenient branch locations right here in Montgomery County, we are your community bank. Next time you're in the area, stop by and say hi. But for now, sit back and enjoy the game.
This is Donnie Buckaloo with Buckaloo Chevrolet. After 2.5 years, I'm proud to say we have new Chevrolets in stock today and are receiving new inventory daily. At Buckaloo Chevrolet, what you see is what you get. We don't charge market adjustments or added equipment you don't want. The price you see is the price you pay, so don't pay over MSRP. On I-45 in Conroe or shop BuckalooChevrolet.com.
It's a better buy at Buckaloo.
It's not enough to be the leader in robotic-assisted procedures if we're not by your side for every step of your recovery, guiding you back to what makes you, you. Because it's not enough to replace your knee if we're not getting you to the moments that can't be replaced. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
Shopping for a new or used vehicle? Or just looking for a place for good, reliable service? Go with the name you know. Gullo Ford, Gullo Mazda, and Gullo Toyota. The Gullo family has been serving the Conroe Woodlands area since 1970. So the next time you're shopping for a new or used vehicle or just need service, do yourself a favor and go see Gullo Toyota, Gullo Mazda, and Gullo Ford. Or log on anytime at GulloAuto.com. Gullo, let's drive.
Thank you to our sponsors for letting us provide you with this play-by-play commentary for tonight's game here over at Woodforest Bank Stadium. And the Woodlands are making their way out of the locker room right now as they are touching the Stone of Destiny before they run out of their inflatable tunnels. Jeremy, you know anything about the Stone of Destiny?
I don't actually, but yeah, as we were watching a couple of minutes ago, the inflatable flipped over on its back, but it looks like they've got things corrected down there on the field, so all is well with the inflatable.
Yes, the reason why those inflatables actually started to get a little tilt-a-whirl on us, it's pretty windy out there. It's blowing towards the south end zone right now, and I think the last time I checked it was about 13 to 15 mile an hour wind, so let's see how, and it actually started raining just a little bit ago, but it finally stopped. We see what these elements are going to do to both offenses and defenses tonight.
Absolutely, and this time of year in the state playoffs in Texas, when you're playing these games outdoors, particularly in the rounds 1 through 4, you know weather can be a factor this time of year, so you train for this as best you can, kind of in practice, using the wet balls and that kind of thing. So it'd be interesting to see how the Woodlands offense attacks this here tonight with Matoyer and that offense. You know they want to get down the field, get behind the defense. That's been their personality, their MO all year. So I'll be interested to see just kind of how they dial things up and how Matoyer, these receivers, and really all the skill guys kind of handle that and just kind of how they look operating under these conditions. And I think on the other side, from what I've read, Nimitz is a team as well that likes to get airborne. So be some interesting conditions for these two offenses that like to air it out here, Jackson.
I know earlier this season the Woodlands had maybe 1 or 2 other games where that rain did play a factor, but just the ability of Matoyer to be able to move the rock down the field and just making his reads. He's been very good, especially as a junior, being able to up his game, and just that's what you want to do every single year is just try to continue to get better, and I see that, especially just calling a few of his games last year.
Yeah, and for a player like Matoyer that has the obvious physical gifts that he has, and of course starting as a sophomore last year, it's like coming into this season as a junior, you wanted to see him make that progression that a prospect of his nature and stature should show kind of in that progression from sophomore to junior year. And I think we've seen exactly that from Matoyer in the few games that I've called for the Highlanders this year. The thing that stood out to me the most about Matoyer's progression is that he's developed his arm talent and just his vision as a passer and kind of taken it to that next level. Last year, he relied a lot more on his legs than he's had to do this year.
And the other thing with Matoyer, he's got a great receiving core. And just the way that he can just spread the ball around, he's been throwing for over 2,000 yards this season, 25 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. But the way that he can distribute and make his progressions, make his reads, is what's so great about this Highlander offense. And the fact, like you were saying, he's not using his legs as much. He only is using his legs when he absolutely has to. And that's something that you want. You don't need to rely so heavy on a run from your quarterback. But if there's something there within the coverage that the play's broken, you need to get downfield and get that first down, get that extra yardage, he's got that ability.
Yeah, absolutely. We are just over a minute here from walking out to midfield and getting our opening kickoff underway here tonight.
Thanks for keeping an eye on that.
The Woodlands just ran out, and Nimitz is lined up in their end zone to run out here as well. And then you just mentioned the Woodlands skill talent. Yeah, you've got Quanell Farrakhan, Arquez Gomez, Jacoby Mitchell, Branson McShafery, Jason Williams, and on the list goes. Yeah, Patrick Rabel. You've got just an embarrassment of riches at the skill positions that they've used all year. And I've really liked Patrick Miller, too, when he's gotten in the games this year. Backup quarterback, junior, and I think he lines up some at receiver as well. So just an offense that really is kind of a Swiss Army knife. Just got tools for a little bit of everything, and they mix it up that way in the run game as well. It's like you see about 4 different guys that'll come into the backfield alongside Matoyer. So some creative design from the Highlanders this season. And Nimitz running out here. And Jackson and I will cut here in a minute for the national anthem as soon as Nimitz gets lined up. But real quickly here, Jackson, before that happens, what are you looking to see from the Woodlands here tonight to kind of lay down, plant their flag, so to speak, here to start these playoffs this year?
I'm just looking at them to continue to do what they've done so far this year. They've been averaging close to 45 points a game, and they keep their offense on the field very short. They just drive the ball down the field really quick. And the fact that their defense is well conditioned, that they can take up more time on the field, that's what it comes down to, especially in the offseason, especially early summer practices and the worst heat you can imagine here in Texas. The fact that conditioning is key and that defense doesn't look like they get tired, especially later in the game. You're allowing your offense to stay fresh. I'm just hoping to see them rack up the score tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Just look, you just mentioned there the conditioning in the work that goes in during the offseason. It's like that's a cumulative effect, not just for what these players have done this year, but for what they've done throughout their entire high school careers to kind of be in this position, particularly for the juniors and seniors. Again, Nimitz getting lined up here for the national anthem. We will cut briefly for that, and then we will be right back to you for the opening kick tonight. And again, audio only due to UIL rules, but we will paint the picture as best we can for you and keep you up to speed on everything happening down on the field by district playoffs momentarily.
So coming right now from the south end zone going to midfield is the ROTC holding our flags, and we will take our brief timeout so we can hear the national anthem and entitlement.
And we are back live with you after the national anthem. Once again, my name is Jeremy McGrail, joined here tonight by Jackson Cochran to bring you this Conroe ISD playoff action by district, Division I, Region 2 playoffs, Woodlands against Aldie Nimitz Cougars from 14-6A on the visiting side here tonight. Pretty decent crowd filing into the stadium on the Woodlands side. Smattering of visitors from Nimitz as well, despite kind of the blustery, rainy conditions that we've had here on this Friday night. Officials standing with the captains, ready to walk out to midfield now. Let us know who's going to start with the ball first and which direction they are moving.
Well, you see that Matoyer, I believe that's Branson McShaffrey, number 4, number 5, Jacob Pondent, number 3, Cooper Starkey, are actually the 3 captains for the Woodlands who are donning their all battle reds, not to be confused with the Houston Texans battle red, but I actually haven't got a chance to see him in the reds this season, and it's very sharp. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it does look good. I think I've seen it one other time this year. I want to say it's a more recent development for the Woodlands to rock the red jerseys, red pants with the white helmets. And Nimitz on their side, they are in white jerseys, white pants, and then they've got their Michigan Wolverine helmet design going on there. The officials are ready to indicate who's receiving. Nimitz has won the toss, and they will receive. So Woodlands defense on the field first here tonight.
And the Woodlands are going to be defending the north end zone here at Woodforest Bank Stadium.
And Highlander players exchanging fist pounds, ready to get started here tonight. And again, last year, Woodlands ended up playing a really tough Spring Lions team to start and lost that game, so they have a chance here tonight to do something they couldn't do a year ago. Come out here, put in a strong by-district performance, and move on to the second round. And as the playoff bracket is set up the Woodlands and Aldine Nimitz winner here tonight would play the winner of Klein Kane and Cy Ranch. That Kane-Cy Ranch game is being played right now over at Klein Memorial Stadium. So if you want to know who might be next, keep an eye on that one. But, of course, plenty of business to take care of here tonight. First, as our kicker, as he's done all year, Scott Starzyk, sophomore kicker extraordinaire, has the ball down, ready to send it back to the Nimitz return team. Texas High School Football State Playoffs. We are live. Ball is up, back deep. Going to be caught. Oh, lets it go over his head. It's going to bounce out of the end zone. Looked like the Aldine Nimitz returner was going to field that initially, but Stark put it over his head. Jackson.
That was number 23. That was Joseph Sanders who decided to let that just fall into the end zone, and Nimitz is going to take their first series here at the 25. Back to you, Jeremy.
Yeah, Starzyk to me, and Jackson, I don't know if you've had this impression.
Oh,
of
he
him
has
too,
a leg.
He's a
The kid has a
phenomenal
leg.
kicker. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and I feel like the Woodlands has this more often than not each year. Just a great kicker. So to start here, Nimitz is in a 4-wide receiver set, 3 receivers to one side, 1 to the top side, 1st and 10. They're going to run, try and go off tackle around the right side. He's going to pick up probably 3 or 4 yards there. Bring up a 2nd and 6, so a decent run for Nimitz to get started against the Woodlands here tonight.
Saw Jacob Pondon in there at the very end, making a good read, trying to get down, and then taking down Sanders right there. So just only 5 so far from the Cougars.
Yep, 2nd and 5 here. Looks like Nimitz is going to keep the 4 receiver set on the field. Now they're going to bunch up trips formation here to the near side, 1 receiver to the top. Swing pass to the running back. Woodlands defense all over it, and they're going to tackle him for a loss. Great defensive play. That's about a 2 or 3 yard loss, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 9.
So you saw Brady Carlin, Cooper Starzyk were 2 of the defenders over there, and just getting back over to Sanders, bringing on that 3rd down. Great movement right there by the defense, following the ball.
They're going to be a little bit generous with the forward progression. It was a loss of 2 yards, so it's going to be 3rd and 7.
And so, the ball is moving from our right to left, going towards the north end zone here at Woodforest Bank Stadium.
Going to motion across the formation here for Nimitz. Snap to the quarterback. Under heavy pressure, he's got to throw it quickly to the right, but bounces it on the turf, incomplete. Going to take us to 4th down and an early 3-and-out stop for the Highlander defense there, Jackson.
So that was Whitehead's second pass this evening, looking for Darius Keene for the incomplete. Just a little short right there, and already the first 3-and-out of the night.
Yeah, Jackson, I think that's going to be kind of a theme of the night here for the Highlanders, having to get pressure on Whitehead and that backfield, so Nimitz can't just sit back there and pick out what they want to do downfield. I know they've got a receiver, Noah Allen, number 1, who's extremely dangerous, but if the Woodlands applies pressure like that, they'll be fine. The punt is away, line drive. Going to be fielded by the Woodlands at the 50, run just over the plus side of the 50, so the Woodlands going to have great field position to start here. They're going to be on the Nimitz 48-yard line after that short punt return. Kind of a low line drive kick, but not a ton that the Highlander return man could do with that. But as such, be in phenomenal starting field position here.
Yeah, they did not want to give it to Quanell Farrakhan. He's already ran back 1 amazing punt return this season for the Highlanders, as it's going to be 1st and 10 right here for the Highlanders.
Bunch formation, jet sweep to Farrakhan here going around the right side. He's got space. He's in the open field, 30, 25, 20, inside all the way down to the 17-yard line. How is that for a positive play to get started?
Well, just
a little over a 30-yard gain there, Jackson.
Yeah, it was just a nice little shuffle pass over to Farrakhan, doing what he does best, using his legs, getting north to south.
Yeah, it was a bunch formation there, quads, and motion Farrakhan across, flipped it to him on the jet sweep around the right side. Moving quickly here is a run to Gomez around the left side. He's going to dance all the way.
Ball comes out
late. Is he down, though? They are going to say he is down. That'll be a 1st down for the Highlanders, down to the 8-yard line of Nimitz after that carry.
And earlier we did talk about the rain being a factor, so the field might have a couple little slippery conditions going on, so got to keep that ball nice and protected, especially moving down the field for this Highlander offense.
Split backfield here for Matoyer. He's going to hand it straight to Milarquez. Gomez untouched. Touchdown, Woodlands. Highlanders first on the board, 6-0, the Woodlands. Gomez straight up the middle there. Jackson untouched.
Untouched. That was just one of the biggest holes right there just for that kind of drive play. Just offensive line, you got to give recognition to a lot of those big guys up there. Being a pear-shaped youth, being on the offensive line, just being able to just create those pathways for these running backs. It's just amazing for this offense.
And here's Starzyk to tack on the PAT. Snap comes. Kick is up, and it is good. So that'll bring our score to the Woodlands 7, Nimitz 0. Exactly 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Easy touchdown drive there to get going here tonight for the Woodlands. Using the run to great effect, even though technically the first play on that drive counts as a pass on that flip to Farrakhan on that jet sweep going around the right side, kind of set things up. 30-yard play right off the bat to get the drive going, and then easy handoff around the left side to Gomez, and then once again right up the gut for the touchdown. 3 plays.
Yeah, and that drive right there only went 32 seconds. That's pretty much the Woodlands' MO this season. Get the ball, get downfield quick, and let their defense do the work.
Absolutely, and one thing the Woodlands that I'm looking to see from the Highlanders here in these playoffs is just that ability to mix things up. Obviously not ideal conditions to throw the football around the yard here tonight with the wind that we've got and the wet conditions.
And it's still going pretty heavy down south.
Yeah, absolutely. This wind's not going to go anywhere anytime soon here tonight, but at least the downpouring of rain that we saw immediately pregame has stopped, and these fields do a great job of draining. The old AstroTurf did not. That stayed slick. It was like trying to run on WD-40 back in those days.
Yeah, especially when it starts to get really cold as the temperature keeps dropping tonight, but we're not going to see any freezing elements tonight.
Yep, and here is Starzyk ready to send it back to Nimitz once again.
Joseph Sanders and Corey Huff back to return, and I do see that
Nimitz wants to return this one. The Woodlands quickly down there to try and cover, but nice job of returning actually by the Nimitz guy. He gets all the way out to the 19-yard line. And that Nimitz return man,
that was Joseph Sanders, who
yeah.
is the running back. He is pretty much getting a lot of activity tonight, and that was Tyler Honeyman on the tackle for the Highlanders. So the junior making a nice tackle, as there were not as many defenders, but there is a yellow flag on the field right now.
Holding, the return team, 10-yard penalty, be first down.
And holding goes against Nimitz there, which is going to help the Woodlands defense, of course, put the ball just inside the 10-yard line. So the Nimitz Cougar offense pinned back deep in their own territory, not being done any early favors when it comes to field position as the Cougar offense comes out onto the field here. Early look is 3-receiver formation.
And the Woodlands are only have 3 down linemen with a linebacker on the outside.
Motion across the formation. Now they're going to hand off to a running back power run. Woodlands going to stop that, no gain. Bring up 2nd and 10.
Linebacker senior Tommy Kraft, number 11, on the tackle.
Yeah, Nimitz using motion across the formation with the receiver, and then they hand it to the running back, just kind of a traditional power play out of the shotgun. Looking for space around the right side of the Woodlands defense that did not materialize. 2nd and 10. Trips, receiver set, 3 receivers to one side, empty to the other side of the formation. Run around the left side for Nimitz, once again stacked up by the Highlander defense. Maybe a yard, half a yard on that. So it's going to bring up another 3rd and long here, Jackson.
Yeah, that was number 5 linebacker senior Jacob Pondent on the tackle, getting over to Sanders pretty well, just following him, making his reads. Just trying to make sure that he's not letting him get past him and breaking any tackles.
We're at 8:50 and counting here in the first quarter. 3rd and 8 down a distance. 3 receivers set once again. Trips to the top side, empty to the other side. Back to pass. Looking for the post over the middle. Has his man complete. That's going to be a first down for the Cougars, moving the chains. And that's the man we mentioned a moment ago, Noah Allen. He is the primary target in this offense.
We do have a flag in the backfield over at the, looks like it's at the 7-yard line.
Thank you, Jackson, pointing that out. I always miss the late laundry there.
It's okay. But Noah Allen did get the first down. We're waiting for the referees to let us know the severity of the penalty. So it looks like it was a roughing the passer by the defense, which will give.
Pass on the defense, 15-yard penalty. First down.
Yep, that was roughing the passer, as Jackson mentioned, so that's going to move the ball out all the way to the 45-yard line. So pretty quickly there, Nimitz out of the trouble they started this drive in. On their own 45-yard line in what we call the all-go zone for the offense. When you get out to this point on the field, any play in the book goes. 4 receivers set here for the Nimitz Cougars. They've got 3 receivers to the top side, 1 down here to the near side or the Woodland sideline. 1st and 10. Pass, quick out to the right. Complete, but the Woodlands all over it. Not going to gain any yards. Bring up 2nd and 10 after that. 8:20 and counting on the first quarter clock here tonight.
That was Tommy Kraft again, just following the ball and getting to the receiver. And the Woodlands defense right now, the front line, they're only bringing 3 men and just playing with at least 5 defensive backs and just letting the linebackers just get back in the zone.
Shotgun for Nimitz here. 3 receivers motion into the backfield. They're going to go power run around the right side looking for some room. Only going to pick up a couple. Bring up a 3rd and 7 here.
And Luke Jones, defensive back for the Highlanders, was able to dive at Sanders just to bring him down. It was a nice little quick move just to get him right at his feet.
Yeah, exactly. The key, playing against teams in the playoffs, get those tackles done in the first 5 yards. Don't let athletes have a chance to make big plays. 4 receivers set here for Nimitz, 3rd and 7. Motion out of the backfield, empty. Looking deep down the field, but heavy pressure applied by the Woodlands, sacked for a big loss. That's about a 6-yard loss on that.
So that was Cam Jordan.
Yeah, just heavy pressure being applied by the Woodlands so far in this one. Obvious 4th down situation, so Nimitz will be punting from their own 42-yard line. So after the first down conversion and penalty yardage got Nimitz out close to midfield, they backed up there after gaining that first down, so the Woodlands defense doing their job tightening up after that.
Starkey's lined up over on his zone 31 in coverage, looking for the punt.
Punt is away. It's low and short. Going to go out of bounds, so this will be great for the Woodlands offense. That might have been a 10-yard punt.
Yeah, it's going to be over at midfield. Just didn't want to risk anything with how well the Woodlands team has been returning punts this season, just kicking it out of bounds, giving the Woodlands excellent field position, especially in Nimitz territory. And we're just at 6:35 here remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, and for anyone just joining us, the Woodlands already on the scoreboard. Highlanders leading 7-0 after scoring on their first possession of the game. This is the second possession of the night for the Highlanders. Here is Matoyer in the shotgun. Going to hand off sweep right side. And that is Gomez going to stay on his feet. Nice balance. Going to gain 7 yards.
So it was a pack of Cougars bringing him down after he gets, let's see, they're going to spot him 6 yards down the field. Going to line him up on the right hash mark as they're going left to right towards that south end zone.
Yep, bunch formation now, 2nd and 3. Matoyer 2x2 set, 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Matoyer pulls it, flips it, looking for Williams on the screen. Tries to one-hand it, but couldn't corral it, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 3 now after that.
It was it was just a little high right there for him. Just, quick release right there by Matoyer. One of those plays you wish you could get back, but it's okay with the way this offense has been moving down the field. I'm sure they can get these next 3 yards.
Yep. Yeah, it was the right play call. It was there to be had. 4 receivers in the set now, 2 to each side, standard spread formation. Nearly had Nimitz jump there, offsides, but defender was able to reset before that, so Matoyer is looking to the sideline to get a good play here.
Nimitz is showing blitz.
Yep, they are showing outside pressure both sides. Matoyer back to pass, looking deep. Going to throw over the middle, diving catch by Branson McShafery. What a catch there, Jackson.
It was nice, just right there, right in between the hash marks. Just watching the replay off the board. It was low, but he was able to dive at it and get a nice little roll to stop and get him close to the red zone.
Yep, first down, ball on the 25-yard line of Nimitz here. Split backfield shotgun for Matoyer, 3 receivers. Two receivers to the top side.
We have
Flag
ourselves
comes
a
in
flag.
from the back judge. Looks like they're going to call procedure on the offense. Going to back up the Woodlands 5 yards here.
False start on the offense. Number 64, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
A little happy feed right there by Cross Tucker. I will give it to this Woodlands offense. They have been very disciplined this season. Not a lot of penalties on the offensive side.
Yeah, that is a good point. Not a heavily penalized unit at all. We are at 5:30 and counting left in the first quarter here tonight. Again, Highlanders up 7-0, looking for more. Ball on the 30-yard line. 5 receivers, empty backfield for Matoyer. Back to pass. He is going to go slant route.
Barracon.
Yep, Barracon. Going to move the ball to the 21-yard line. So it should be a 3rd and 6 there, if I'm not mistaken, Jackson.
Yeah, it's going to be a 3rd and 6. And Farrakhan just able to get that quick move right there from the slant. Saying, just trying to beat his man. I think that's number 25, Joseph Quay, the defensive back for Nimitz. He's given him plenty of room. And that's one of those players you don't want to try to just give a lot of room, especially with his speed.
No, you don't. 4 receivers set here for the Woodlands, 3 to one side, 1 to the other. Be a handoff to Gomez. Nifty spin move. Spins around left side. 5. Touchdown, Highlanders. Arquez Gomez, number 2 touchdown of the night. What a run there. It's nifty footwork with that spin at the line of scrimmage to make the initial Nimitz defenders miss. Gets around that left side. Touchdown, Highlanders. 13-0 on the scoreboard for the Woodlands now as Starzik comes on for the PAT. Jackson, how about that run?
That was nice. Gomez looked like he was tackled right there behind the line, was able to just stutter step to the left, and then another defender coming, he was able to spin off of him, stretches, just finds an open lane close to the sideline, and just gets right into the end zone, the south end zone to be exact. Extend this lead 14-0, and this is one of the longer drives I've seen the Woodlands have so far this season. About a 2-minute drive where their first drive, only gone down the field 32 seconds. But Woodlands extending the lead by 14 after enforcing the second 3 and out.
Yeah, it's hilarious you say that a 2-minute drive has been one of their longer efforts of the year, but I would be willing to guess that if you calculated the average time of possession on their scoring drives this year, that probably wouldn't be too far off the average. I feel like they score in a ton of big plays, particularly down the field with the pass that we've seen most of this year, Jackson.
It's just that all gas, no brake mentality, pedal to the metal. We're just going to continue to push it down the field, and we're going to continue to score. We want to rack up the points. Like that old Bill Belichick, whenever he doesn't care what quarter it is, we're just going to continue to get some points on the board.
Yeah, and of course, a quick look at the district stats will show you that this is a Woodlands team that doesn't have a traditional feature back. It's like we talked about this a little in the pregame. They'll use about 4 different guys in the backfield, kind of spread the wealth to everybody because they've got so much of that skill talent that we like to talk about.
And not to mention just the fact that they also have an arsenal of receivers, which there hasn't been a touchdown in the air tonight. It's been both on Gomez.
I'm absolutely content to keep it on the ground, and why not? With the kind of holes they're opening up, I would stay on the ground as much and as long as I wanted here tonight. So the Woodlands having a lot of success opening up holes. Starzik booted that kick out of the back of the end zone, so touchback. 4:31 on the clock here in the first quarter. Again, Woodlands leading at 14-0 over the Nimitz Cougars here. You mentioned this in the pregame, but yeah, Nimitz coming out of that 14-6A district, Jackson.
Yeah, coming out of the 14-6A district, and a fun fact that we discovered in our pregame is that Nimitz hasn't won a playoff game since 2003.
Yeah, remarkable. We'll have more on Nimitz here in a second. They snap the ball, 4 receivers back to pass. Looking in, the slot going to be bobbled around. Ball's going to hit the turf, ultimately incomplete. Looked like both the receiver and the DB had a shot at that one, Jackson.
Yeah, it looked like McShaffrey was able to get a hand on it, but just unable to come down with the interception. The way that his body was just positioned, he was already on the ground, and then he tried to do a makeshift, kind of like little jump. You can't see me. I'm kind of just moving my arms to the opposite side of my body as my head's going the other direction.
Yep, 2nd and 10 here. 3 receivers set for Nimitz in the shotgun. Going to show handoff running up the middle. Again, Woodlands all over that.
Just closing the gaps.
No gain.
Getting a lot of pressure on that line.
Bring up a 3rd and 10. And one cool fact about Aldine ISD is that they've sent 3 teams, 3 different programs to a state title game. Aldine High went to the state title game in 89 and 90, winning it all in 1989, had a great team that year. Eisenhower went to the state title game in 1999. Aldine MacArthur played in one of the all-time classic state championship games, 1993. That was an overtime loss against Louisville.
So big 3rd down right here for
Nimitz. Back to pass here, 3rd and long, going to roll to the right. Looking deep down the sideline, one-on-one coverage.
There is a late flag by the midfield judge.
Yeah, wasn't sure if they're going to let that go. There's some contact between the receiver and DB going down the field again. One-on-one coverage deep. So the pass was thrown well short there.
Yeah, Starsky was right there on the coverage. He was staying with the man, but he just didn't have any eyes on the ball. That's probably why they called the penalty on him.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there, Jackson. Yeah, hands were out, but not looking back for the ball, and makes it really a pretty easy call for the official at the end of the day.
And just right, actually, hold on.
Interference on the defense. Number 3, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So this is another generous 1st down given by the Highlanders tonight.
So ball for Nimitz on their own 41-yard line, 4 receivers set in the formation here. Faking the run, back to pass, heavy pressure applied by the Highlanders. Gets the pass off deep down the middle. But who's got it? Receiver comes up with it. And that is Noah Allen down the field. Again, the main man for this Cougar offense made a great play there to catch it. Looked like both the DB and the receiver had a shot at that one. Cooper Stark there, DB, was right there with him. But yeah, great catch, and this is the deepest that Nimitz has been in Woodlands territory here tonight. Actually, first time all night they've been in the Woodlands half of the field here. 4 receivers set, 2 to each side, 1st and 10 on the Woodlands 25-yard line. Back to pass again, looking deep for the corner, and it's going to be caught for a Nimitz touchdown. Woodlands DB got his head turned a little bit there and couldn't locate the football in time, and the Cougars, Jackson.
So back-to-back deep passes right there by Whitehead, who was able to find one of his favorite targets, Noah Allen, number 1, who got the 1st down after beating Starkey. And then finding Ahmad Bailey in the end zone. So just back-to-back passes. The defense was trying to get pressure to him, but what was going on is they're allowing Whitehead to just move around in the pocket, get to the outside of the tackle box, and just find some extra time to get downfield and make those plays.
Yeah, exactly. We've talked about the pressure that the Woodlands has been applying for most of the night here, defensively doing a great job of doing just that, but their quarterback Whitehead able to do a pretty good job of sidestepping a little bit of pressure, and then downfield, nothing fancy. They're just attacking single coverage that they've gotten, and Woodlands DB's just not quite getting the heads around and making plays on the football. So obviously an adjustment that they'll be talking about and looking to make down there on the sideline. So after that score by Nimitz, our score here from Wood Forest Bank Stadium is the Woodlands 14, Nimitz 7, 3:02 remaining on the first quarter clock.
And we're going to actually get to see this Highlander return team for the first time tonight. You have Farrakhan, and it looks to me that it is number 87, Shane Walker, back to return.
You are right. It is Walker and Farrakhan back deep for the Woodlands as Nimitz is going to put this kick down, send it back. See if the Highlanders get a chance to return this one. Pedro de los Reyes putting the ball down for Nimitz. Be interesting following all the games around the state of Texas here tonight and seeing the different effects that weather might have, given most of the state of Texas is being impacted by this front moving across right now, particularly East Texas right now. And here is the kickoff, a low squib kick. Fun one to try and feel for the Woodlands. They do cleanly. Going to be stacked up, though. Good kick coverage by Nimitz. And the Woodlands is going to start this on their own 26-yard line, is where forward progress is deemed to be stopped there, Jackson.
There were 4 Nimitz Cougars right there, led by Robert Lott, just to bring down Walker. Following the squib kick, just maybe was get, 1 or 2 yards just right there, and just met at the 25, 26, where this Highlander offense is going to start with their furthest field position tonight.
Yeah, it's a really nice squib kick. If you're going to do it like that, that's the best way to do it, to allow your coverage team to get down there. And that's what the Nimitz Cougars did. So here's Matoyer, shotgun formation, going to show run, keep it himself now around the right side, a ton of room. Matoyer out to the 40, 45. Just going to step out of bounds right about midfield. So Matoyer getting the Highlanders off and running here to start this possession. No flags on the field. Move the ball out to their own 48. 1st and 10, 2:48 to go in the first quarter.
That was a well-designed run right there. A little bit of that RPO, you're just showing a little bit of option. Do the play fake. Matoyer's going to keep it, following his blockers, and untouched. He was making a decision to try to get some extra yards, but just goes right out of bounds.
Yeah, Mitchell with him in the backfield here. 4 receivers back to pass now. Matoyer looking deep down the field. Post route wide open.
There it is.
Caught. 5. Touchdown.
Ethan King right there, number 84. 52-yard touchdown reception.
Yep, 52 yards wide open on the post route. Matoyer just straight drop back. Post route comes wide open, and that's what we've seen from the Woodlands all year, haven't we, Jackson? This plays just like that, getting behind the defense, and King was open by a good 5 to 10 yards on that when he caught the football.
And what I've been saying throughout the entire game is just this Woodlands offense. They just get down the field very fast. It's a fast up-tempo style offense.
Yep, and Starzik, PAT, up and good per his normal, so that'll take the score to the Woodlands 21, Nimitz 7, 2:40 left in the first quarter.
Let's watch that replay, what we're seeing right there. Just from the 40, their own 40, he catches it right about the 20. So nice 40 yards in the air.
Yep, very well thrown football, just dropped it in the bucket there. Extremely accurate throw from Matoyer, and yeah, King again had about 5 yards separation at the moment of the catch.
Was able to just beat his man. So following the touchdown, it's 21 Woodlands, Nimitz 7. Trying to keep that 14-point lead. Just 2 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the first quarter.
Yeah, very positive start here tonight so far for the Highlander offense, and we'll see if their defense is able to adjust to some of these matchups that Nimitz is trying to attack down the field just in that one-on-one coverage. And I think it is a pretty simple adjustment overall for the Woodlands. For the DBs, the message is, yeah, just get your heads around and, yep, make a play on the football. Starzik is going to tee it up here. He's been booting the ball out of the end zone so far, kicking with the wind.
And still Joseph Sanders and Corey Huff back to return. Still moving to the south end zone.
Yep, the Woodlands moving from right to left as we look at it here in the booth. Wind's going to blow the ball down, so we're going to have to reset on the tee.
So I'm seeing that Sanders is where, and he's on the Nimitz side lined up, and that's usually where Starzik's been kicking it.
Deep kick, it's going to go out of the end zone.
Completely out of the end zone, almost hit the concrete. Just about a yard or two shy of the concrete.
Absolutely, just good boot from Starzik per normal, and yeah, he's putting a few PATs and field goals onto the roof on both ends of the field here this season that I've seen. Drawn some oohs and ahs from the crowd when he's done that.
I want to see what adjustments they've made on the defensive side following the two big pass plays from Nimitz.
And here is the Cougar offense resetting here, 1st and 10. They're on their own 25-yard line, 2:40 to go in the first quarter. Motion out of the backfield, going to be empty, but a lot of movement, and that's not legal. So flags come in.
Looked like Ethan Scott was going to be coming from the outside.
Yeah, several players moving early there for Nimitz.
So your 3 down linemen typically tonight.
False start on the offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Yep, bring up 1st and 15 after that, so ball back to the 20-yard line
So you got David Finney, you have Steele Herndon, and Mitchell Blakesley as your 3 down linemen.
Back to pass. Nimitz looking up the right sideline again. One-on-one coverage. They're trying to attack. Caught. Oh, incomplete. The ball hits the deck, actually. It looked like
someone
he caught
lost
it there
a
for a
shoe.
second. Yeah, I didn't know if that was the ball or a shoe, and it turns out it was a shoe right around midfield.
No, it's the referee's hat. I thought that was a shoe.
It's like, yeah, hard to see all the way over to that sideline from where we're sitting here, but
I would have gone to the sideline and asked coach for a pair of clean socks. I can't play in wet feet, especially when one's dry and one's wet.
Yeah, again, apologies for the botched vision there, but it's going to bring up 2nd and 15 after that incomplete pass. Again, Nimitz looking for one-on-one coverage just up the sideline there, trying to attack matchups. Motion out of the backfield now. Going to throw the swing pass, incomplete. Bring up 3rd and 15 now, Jackson.
Looked like Blakesley was right there on the pass tip. They brought 5 on the defensive side, trying to get a little bit more pressure right there on Whitehead.
Yep, 2:28 on our first quarter clock here. Woodlands leading at 21-7 for anyone just joining us on our audio stream here tonight. Thrilled to have you with us. I am Jeremy McGrail, joined here tonight by Jackson Cochran.
Hello.
Our favorite things about the playoffs, we get to do some tandem broadcasts for you and try and help paint this picture because the UIL takes control of everything in the playoffs and says we can't video stream, so that is why we are audio only tonight, in case you were wondering.
I
Nimitz,
hope you enjoy my voice.
First time out of the half.
Nimitz is going to take their first timeout, stopping the clock with 2:22 left here in. Actually, they're going to make an adjustment on the clock. It's now 2:25. This is Nimitz's first timeout, and this is a big 3rd and 15. The only first downs that they've received so far tonight have been off of some Woodlands penalties, roughing the passer, pass interference, and that's the only thing that has kind of favored Nimitz whenever they're trying to keep their time on the field.
Yep, just some classic opportunism being displayed by Nimitz so far here tonight in terms of the penalties, and then just trying to attack one-on-one matchups and just try and let their athletes make some plays downfield against the Woodlands DBs. So pretty simple adjustments for the Woodlands to make if they can manage it in terms of, just eliminating those penalties and doing a little bit better job in the one-on-one coverage downfield, and they should be okay with the amount of pressure that the defense is applying so far here tonight. The Woodlands looking to have a clear advantage in the trenches on both sides of the ball. So here's the 3rd down play for Nimitz. Shotgun snap. Quick pass to the right. The Woodlands going to be all over that. No trouble stopping that after about a 5 or 6 yard gain. So bring up a 4th and 9.
You had Luke Jones and Tommy Kraft, and I know I've said Tommy Kraft's name quite a bit tonight. He's inside linebacker. He's been right there making those tackles tonight. So I'm sure that he has one of the most tackles for the Highlanders this season.
He does, and this Highlander defense, along with New Caney, were far out ahead of the rest of the district when it came to things like tackles for losses. And
there's
just
a flag at the
clearly
23-yard line right now.
Yeah, thank you for picking that out, Jackson. Just saw it kind of land there. I'm not sure why it was
False
thrown.
start.
Okay, so they're going to back Nimitz up 5 more yards. So Nimitz is going to be punting from their own 23-yard line here. 1:51 on the first quarter clock. 4th and 12 for the official down and distance.
And Farrakhan and Walker are back to return.
There's another short punt, shanked. Going to go out of bounds after maybe 10 yards. I'm not even sure that one went 10 yards.
Well, they had the ball at the 23, and looks like they're going to...
Yeah, haven't seen them spot the ball yet, but it's going to be very good news for the Highlanders when they do.
That might have been a 2-yard punt. Ball to 25.
Yep, and things could get out of hand pretty quickly here if the Woodlands is going to continue to have field position like this, Jackson. Would not recommend it against this offense as Matoyer comes back out here for receiver set, 1st and 10, 1:41 on the clock.
Probably just need to go ahead and just, nope, they're going to pass it. Matoyer drops back, rolls right. He's going to throw it out of bounds, looking to try to get a little bit extra. Sorry to step on you right there, Jeremy. Just wanted to get the play out there.
No problem. No, that was a good one. Matoyer trying to keep himself alive as a passer there, as you well noted. But, yeah, just in the end, nothing he could go to, so did the smart thing and just, toss it out of bounds, come back for second down.
I thought they were going to start us off with another run because they've been moving the ball pretty well on the ground so far tonight.
Yeah, probably trying to mix in a few different things in the playbook here tonight, especially while they've got the wind. They're going to be in a bunch formation here now, shotgun. Motion across. They're going to throw the jet sweep now back to Farrakhan. Going to turn the right side 5.
He's gone.
Touchdown. Farrakhan hits pay dirt there, and that was, I believe, the same play that the Woodlands started tonight on. That jet sweep across the formation, just flipping to Farrakhan. Going around the same side, too, running around the right side of the formation. Just gets into a lane, stays alive as a runner, and takes it right into the end zone, largely untouched, Jackson.
Yeah.
Minute 24 on the clock after that, 27-7, the Woodlands on the scoreboard.
So they got 23 seconds on that. Nice little drive, especially with that field position. But Farrakhan just got the burners. He broke one tackle. They had him pretty much by the jersey. He was able to just continue to turn his legs and get into the end zone for his first score of the night.
Yep, and Starzik, as he does, tacks on the PAT, 28-7 Highlanders, 1:24 left in the first quarter here tonight.
Yeah, he kind of had actually broke 2 tackles towards the end. Kind of lost his gait for a second, able to rebound, and then just cross the plane, getting that first touchdown tonight for him.
Yeah, there's been a lot of untouched here tonight, so we do need to give credit when there's a little bit of contact shedding going on here. Give the players their yak love, yards after contact.
I am a big yak supporter. And we're waiting for the Nimitz return team to come back out onto the field. They were on the sidelines a little longer. And we're still here in the first quarter. It's been all Woodlands so far tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. The Highlanders coming out here tonight and doing what you would hope that they would, coming out, establishing dominance on the offensive side of the ball, letting Nimitz know that, you're not going to stop us here tonight. We're going to come out with our best stuff. And that's really the key in the playoffs. Each week is a reset that you get to hang around in the bracket. And then most important thing is just trying to put your best foot forward. As Starzik sends the kick there to Nimitz, going to be returned by Nimitz, trying to look for space, well covered by the Woodlands overall. They're going to tackle him right around the 17-yard line, it looks like, Jackson.
That it is, and I see that it was number 22 and 29 from the Woodlands on the coverage. So you had Thomas Finta and Chris Ince both getting down the field and actually tackling the running back Joseph Sanders. The senior has been getting a lot of touches tonight for Nimitz. And starting off of the left hash mark, going right to left towards that north end zone, Nimitz is starting their fifth drive tonight.
More of what we've seen tonight. Nimitz just pinned deep into their own territory, split back shotgun. Going to run up the middle, looking for room, which has not been there all night. He's going to gain maybe a yard. I think Nimitz so far tonight has 1 carry that's gone for, I think, even 5 yards. Everything else has just been stopped for no gain or a loss, Jackson.
Yeah, and most of the time it's just a broken play that Whitehead will just get out of the pocket. But this Highlander defense, even though they're only having 4 down linemen, they're bringing the linebacker from the outside. They're trying to contain it, get pressure to the gaps.
2nd and 7, 43 seconds to go in the first quarter. Flare pass out to the right falls incomplete for Nimitz. Going to bring up 3rd and 7 down in distance. Exactly 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Again, the Woodlands leading at 28-7 on our scoreboard so far here tonight from Wood Forest Bank Stadium. Live Division I Region 2 action here. And in the Woodlands bracket, you have Wiley against Mesquite Horn, Duncanville Bryan, the Woodlands Nimitz, of course, here tonight. Klein Kane Cy Ranch. So the winner of tonight's game here will play the winner of that Klein Kane Cy Ranch game. And I know from watching Kane in one of their games earlier this year, they've got a pretty good football team this year. 4 receivers set for Nimitz. 3rd and 7. Back to pass. Heavy pressure being applied. Blitz by the Woodlands. Ball hangs up there. It's going to be picked off by the Woodlands. Way. Going to go up the left sideline and ushered out of bounds. Right about the 32-yard line of Nimitz. Big play by the Highlander defense. No flags on the field. Possession flips, so a chance for the Woodlands to just completely put their foot down here.
So Way, that's the first time we got to say his name tonight. And the defensive back, he's a senior, number 16. It looked like from the way that everything was going, I was keeping an eye on Noah Allen for Nimitz, and he almost was going to get past the defender, but as that Highlander front line were getting pressure to Whitehead, he had to get rid of it, and Wayway was right there just to pick him off.
Yeah, heavy blitz there brought from the Woodlands. They kind of forced the throw probably a bit earlier than they wanted to. Possession flips. Here's Matoyer. Shotgun, 3 receivers, 1st and 10. He's going to flip to the right side once again. That's Jason Williams this time on the sweep. What does that look like to you, Jackson? About 5-6 yards on that carry?
I'm thinking it's 6. I'm looking at the line judge. So it'll be a 2nd and 4.
Yeah, the Woodlands making heavy use of these jet sweeps, just kind of flips across the formation, so technically they are passes.
Well, they gave him 5 yards. It's 2nd and 5.
4 receivers set here for the Highlanders. Motion out of the backfield, so empty. Throwback screen to Walker on the right side. He's got space. He's up the sideline. 5. Touchdown once again, the Woodlands. Shane Walker. Backside screen to the backside from Matoyer. Just broke wide open for Walker there. So, Jackson, it's all, whatever they dial up is working here tonight.
Yeah, and at right where the play happened, Matoyer was able to, he was getting blitzed. And at the end of the play, he got hit, and there was a flag following the play. It's right over there at the 35-yard line. But they're going to nullify that penalty, and it's just going to be, I think it was like a helmet-to-helmet contact, but I can't confirm that. They're talking with the coaches right now, but they're still saying it's a touchdown for the Woodlands. Yeah, roughing the passer.
Yep, so they are going to call that contact.
Results of the play, touchdown.
Yeah, it's a 31-yard pass play there by the Woodlands. Matoyer to Shane Walker again on that catch. Sophomore receiver.
So that means he's going to get one more year with Matoyer.
Absolutely, and Walker again, part of this super deep group of skill talent that we've referenced a few times here tonight. Jackson as Starzik comes on for the PAT. We got 16 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and the Woodlands already with 34 points on the scoreboard.
And you haven't even heard the name of Aiden Self yet, and Self has had a couple 2-touchdown games for the Highlanders this season. It's just they have plenty of people to get the ball to and able to distribute it. And just that was just a rapid release, especially whenever that blitz was coming onto Matoyer, just making the right read, getting it into that. Because we're watching the replay right now, and Walker just following his blocks. Great vision down the field, getting to the end zone.
Yeah, and it's one of those screens that I think, there's a lot of different names for it. I call it kind of, they usually call that kind of play a Vegas-style screen where you fake to one side and then come back and throw that screen to the other side of the field there like they did with Walker, and just wide open. Great job of deception and execution by the Highlanders to stretch that lead. Of course, Starzik true on the PAT. Take us to 35-7 here in the first in favor of the Woodlands. So far, so good here tonight, coming out, trying to put themselves in a dominant position to get this bi-district win chalked up. And you know this is a group of players that came into this year. They were hoping after the bad taste that they no doubt had in their mouth after losing to Spring last year, that this is a group that you would have known all offseason they would have been talking about. We want to get back to the playoffs, and once we get there, we want to win some games.
And the crazy thing about that this season is the expansion within the district. Obviously, New Caney undefeated, taking everything, especially with their amazing running back. But it's usually been either College Park or the Woodlands in this district. In last year's end of the season game, as the ball falls off the tee again because of the wind, but College Park winning the district and Woodlands getting second place. Woodlands back-to-back second place, but still on their 28th consecutive playoff run. The last time they haven't made the playoffs was 1994.
Yep, just a long history of success and always being a program that you know is going to be in the mix come this time of year and a threat. But yeah, that Region 2 playoff bracket is always a beast, no different this year as Starzik kicking from the 45 of Nimitz is going to put it in an area where
there it is.
Hits the turf, and the Woodlands is going to recover that. So it's going to be Highlander ball once again. Very cheeky by Starzik there. I was about to say, I think he's going to put it through the uprights because he was kicking from the Nimitz 45-yard line after the penalty, but he does a very creative style pooch, puts it right in no man's land there where it hits the turf, and Nimitz tried to field it, couldn't do it cleanly. So the ball bounces loose, and Jackson Highlanders right back in business on offense. Wow.
Starting off beautifully here in the red zone. Ball at the 14, 13 seconds remaining here in the first. Just
split back shotgun Matoyer. They're going to fake the handoff left, throw back to the right. It's going to go incomplete there.
Well, that was intended for Jackson Bollander, but, got a penalty following.
Yep, lots of laundry. 3 flags that came down, in fact.
Reminded me I need to do some laundry when I get home. I think I have some clothes in the dryer. I think my wife will appreciate it once I get those out of there.
Oh, the constant laundry battle, never ending.
I just know it's there. I know it's there. I'll get to it. It's okay. Referee's still conversing.
Yeah, I don't know if we had some extracurricular going on there. I'm sure they were just exchanging recipes or, just kind of talking about what their favorite classes were.
Well, Thanksgiving is coming up. I favor my mom's sweet potato casserole.
Oh, yeah, I'd never turn that down. That's probably my favorite. Not probably, it is my favorite dish. Go straight to it.
That and, mixing with my turkey. I need to stop. I'm already thinking too far ahead because it's
you get the smoked turkeys, though. That's what I recommend is get you a Texas slow smoked turkey. Oh, my goodness, that is the way to go.
I smoke my own turkey. Trust me.
Well,
I can smoke my own turkey.
Well, then.
Got dead balls.
Dead ball foul.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on number 16, White. And number 17, Red.
So it's going to offset, going to nullify, going to replay first
both
down.
Both penalties, because they were dead ball, we will enforce both penalties.
Oh.
So lots of action here. So we'll see where the ball ultimately lands. The umpire walked back. Now he's running back forward. 9 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
So it's going to be second down and 10.
Yep, looks like it. Ball is on the 15-yard line of Nimitz. Matoyer looking to the sideline, trying to get his play. Now they're going to move Bollander across the formation. They're going to have 4 receivers in the formation.
Well, they have not reset the play clock. It's still at 25, so there is no movement on that clock.
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone on the field is noticing. Now they've run it, actually.
So it looks like they're going to call an audible.
Yep, looking back to the sideline. The Woodlands mercifully does not use those poster boards with all the funny symbols on them. Which I never know if any of that stuff actually means anything or not. Motion across the formation here, McShafery. Sweep to Gomez left side. Runs into some contact, keeps himself alive. He is so good at that. His balance is incredible, really.
Just like pinball right there.
Yeah, he's a very difficult guy to get down. He's going to gain 8 yards on that.
No, he wasn't able to break through 2 defenders, but he was able to bounce off of them and break left and just.
Yeah, he pinballs with the best of them, and that play is actually going to bring us to the end of our first quarter here tonight,
Just
Jackson.
Now?
Yeah. Shockingly. It feels like we could have played a half.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
That's insane. So just already 12 minutes down, and the Woodlands leading 35-7. They're going to switch to the opposite sides. It's been a lot of offense from the Woodlands tonight, so we're going to do a quick little recap. We had Gomez with the first 2 scores, both on the ground. Then you have Matoyer to Ethan King on the 52-yard post. Then you had Matoyer to Walker recently.
Yeah, but of course, Gomez with the first 2 touchdowns of the night on those runs.
And you had the 25 shuffle pass over to Farrakhan.
Yep. Yeah, and I think you mentioned this, Jackson, kind of as we were watching the action play out there in the first quarter. The Woodlands came out early on, just dominant on the ground, getting some huge holes up front, and then they kind of started to try and work the pass a little bit more as the first quarter went on. But no matter what they've done, success has followed as well as points. And was about to mention there before the first quarter ran out that I can't think there have been too many 40-point quarters in Highlander history, but even as such, even though they didn't get in the end zone another time there before the clock ran out, still 35 points in one quarter is pretty darn impressive.
Well, they're not that far off from their season average of 45 points per game. I've seen them rack it up to about 66 a couple times this season.
Shotgun set, Matoyer, 3 receivers motion into the backfield. Going to be handoff up the middle. Gomez, number 3 touchdown of the night. The Woodlands in the end zone yet again, and there are your 40 points. 41 to be exact, pending the PAT from Starzik here. 11:56 on our clock in the second quarter. The Woodlands switching ends of the field, of course, just now with the second quarter started, going from right to left now as we view it. They're moving to the north end zone. Jackson, yep, easy as you like.
That was Gomez's third touchdown. You call it a hat trick, you can call it a turkey, whatever terminology you want to get right there, but not once, not twice, but thrice in the end zone tonight. Having himself a night, especially here in the playoffs. Got to give it up to this kid.
Yep, and Starzik true on the PAT, so score the Woodlands 42, Nimitz 7. Again, 11:56 on the clock, second quarter that we just started, so just 4 seconds on that touchdown run, and you could have driven one of those big yellow school buses over there through that hole. That was just massive up the middle.
Hey, since you're talking about them school buses, we here at the Conroe Independent School District are hiring school buses, so if you want to go to our actual website, you're interested in trying to be part of the team, we are welcoming anyone and everyone who would like to help commute our kids here in the Conroe Independent School District.
Yeah, and once again, we thank all of you for joining us on this live audio stream. I'd like to encourage you to please like the stream, hit the bell to subscribe to our channels for both Woodforest Bank Stadium and Moorhead. We've got 2 different channels there for Conroe ISD Athletics on YouTube. Of course, follow us on the Twitter account as well as Instagram. Keep up to date with all the awesome things that are going on in the district with our student athletes.
Taking a lot of great pictures, especially on the sidelines and of the crowd. You'll see a lot of those on the Instagram page, and I see plenty of pictures every single week, and, you know, I follow them. I give them a like. I heart those, as the kids say. I follow them on the gram.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to stay up to date, yeah. Here is Starzik going to boot the kick. Again, kicking towards the north end zone, pooches it high. Going to be fielded and return attempted by Nimitz, but the Woodlands all over it. Ball's going to be spotted on the 21-yard line, so Nimitz once again pinned back to start a drive.
So Caleb Phillips and Martin Schofield were able to get down there, tackle him right over where they're saying him, the 21.
Yep, 21-yard line.
So they're lining up at the left hash mark. They're moving left to right, going towards that south end zone, a lot of the same direction the Woodlands was traveling in that first quarter. Whitehead trying to get something going here for the Cougars as he hands it off to his main man. That was Joseph Sanders, as he gets stopped right at the line of scrimmage, trying to dance around, but that Woodlands line is just being able to penetrate and make them stops.
Yeah, it's very clear where the trench battle is going here tonight, and it's really been clear from the first possession of the game. Really, both sides of the ball, just total dominance by the Woodlands up front. And in each round of the playoffs, that's always the key matchup, is how you do on the offensive and defensive lines. Most influences who wins the game.
Noah Allen was lined up in the slot. He's right there. Stark is the one who's still covering him pretty well.
Yep, airmail on that throw, so bring up 3rd and 10 for Nimitz after that incomplete pass. We mentioned this in the pregame, but yeah, Nimitz has made their hay as a passing offense this year between Whitehead and Allen in particular. Give them credit for making the playoffs in that district. It was Westfield, Decaney, Nimitz, and Eisenhower were the four playoff representatives from that Spring Aldine district. Heavy pressure by the Woodlands on the 3rd down. Pass complete. It was actually a really nice, tough throw by Whitehead. Going to be a yard short of the 1st down, bringing up 4th and 1, though, Jackson.
I wonder what they're going to do here. Since it is a 4th and 1, looks like they are going to keep the offense on the field since they are trailing pretty big right now, just down 35 points.
Yeah, and with the punt average of 5 to 10 yards that we've seen here lately, I mean, why not? So 4th and 1, Cougar offense going to stay out.
And play clock's right at around 10 seconds. See if they can get a snap off before then.
Yep, 10:32 and counting. Handoff. They're looking around the left side.
He got it.
Yeah, they're going to give him that spot.
All he needed was 1. He ended up with 2.
Yep, ran around the left side there and did what was needed to move the chains. We got 10:25 and counting in the second quarter here tonight. Woodlands up 42-7. Huge night for the Highlanders on the scoreboard so far here. 4 wide receiver set for Nimitz. Shotgun, 1st and 10. Back to pass. Looking deep down the middle, but a little bit of miscommunication with the receiver. Looked like the quarterback was throwing more of a corner route, whereas the receiver was running a post.
That was a nice clean pocket, though, for Whitehead. He had plenty of time right there. I think him and Noah Allen weren't really in on the communication for the incomplete pass. But you also got to give it to the Highlanders having 2 men back there. You had Stark, and you also had J.T. Goff.
Yep, 10:05 on the clock. We got 2nd and 10 here. 4 receiver set, bunch trips to the near side. Heavy pressure up the middle applied by the Woodlands, and that pass is going to fall incomplete. Looked like a blitz up the middle by the Highlanders there. Got plenty of men through on the quarterback directly. Bring up 3rd and 10, exactly 10 minutes remaining on the clock here until halftime tonight. Chance for the Woodlands to step up big here on another 3rd down, Jackson.
Woodlands are playing with 5 defensive backs still. Usually one of these linebackers can play in coverage, but it looks like they're bringing a blitz right now. They're showing blitz with the defense.
Yep, 4 receiver set pulling on the play action. Back to pass rolling right. Going to throw deep down the field. Going to throw over the head of his intended receiver, which looked like Keelan Washam, one of the sophomore receivers for Nimitz.
Luke Jones right there defending for the Highlanders. Almost got a hand on it, but it was just too high right there. And you're going to see the punt team make their way back out for Nimitz.
Yep, punt team is on the field here, but I would contend that they could probably go for it again, really. But maybe with the win, they'll get a little bit better yardage outcome out of their punt this time. The punt is away, and it does go much further than their first quarter punts did. Farrakhan feeling it, running around the left side. He may have a lane here if he can get up the sideline. But well covered by the Nimitz defender, who just kind of cut off that outside lane at the last second. Did a good job of outside leverage there. Like Farrakhan's going to be spotted out at the 38-yard line, so the Woodlands will start this possession on their own 38-yard line. 9:41 left until half.
So he started right there, I think, at the 24, maybe the 23 on the return. Got about 12-13 right there on that return.
Yep, just 1 block away from being able to take that to the house, and the one defender for Nimitz that needed to make the play ended up making the play there, staying in his lane, doing his job.
See Aiden Self lined up in the slot.
Split back shotgun here for Matoyer. Going to hand up the middle, wide open lane into open space, 40, 35, 30. Mitchell cuts it outside, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Highlanders. Great run. Takes it all the way to the house. 1 play, yet another touchdown, 48-7. The Woodlands on the scoreboard, 9:28 to go in the second quarter. Explosive offense. We've seen it all night. Once again there, 1 play.
That was 62 yards by Jacoby Mitchell. First score of the night. Just getting through the middle of the field. Just had a huge lane and was able to move to the left side and just right there running towards a pylon and crosses the plane.
Yeah, Mitchell just running through a wide open hole right up the middle of the field to start that run, then bounces it to the left side, hits the sideline, and just housed it from there. And Starzik tacks on the PAT. So score now, the Woodlands 49, Nimitz 7. 9:28 until half. Jackson, yeah, just a lot of one-play drives here tonight.
1, 2, 3. That's all the Woodlands needs.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally been the case here tonight. Yeah, they've just A few plays or less is all they've needed to put the ball in the end zone. Whatever they're doing is working just because they have that dominance up front.
And I know we were talking about this earlier tonight, just the conditioning in general, just the way that how well the Woodlands defense is still have plenty of energy, still being able to make stops, get to the quarterback, and giving very little time on the sidelines to just catch their breath.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like in a game like this, of course, the Woodlands has 2 to 3 times more guys suited up on their sideline than does Nimitz. So you would expect that kind of advantage to really kind of show itself over the course of a game, and it's already kind of really showing out there on the field in favor of the Highlanders. Just too much for the Cougars to handle as Starzyk tees this up for us. See if he keeps pooching it. And he will. He's going to float that one up nice and high. Nimitz running under it, trying to defend it. It's kind of a sliding catch there by the Cougar receiver. Going to down the ball. Looks like on their own 31-yard line is where that ball spot's going to come in here.
Darius Keene able to just catch it like a can of corn, fall down to the ground, don't let the ball get out. Try to make something from this next series right here for this Cougar offense. It's a big, big deficit right now as the Woodlands have taken this 49-7, just 9:20 remaining here in the first half.
Yep, shotgun formation here for the Cougars, split back shotgun. Just going to try and run up the middle, gets into space. The Nimitz running back is loose around the left side. He's going to be to the 40, 35, and out of bounds. They will spot him right at the 35-yard line of the Woodlands, actually. So that is one of the biggest plays of the night for the Cougars.
That was a nice 30,
yep.
By my calculations, 30, 33
yep,
yards
right
on the
there,
ground.
and it was, Sanders on the carry. Senior running back motion into the backfield now, shotgun 1st and 10.
They give the rock back to him.
Yep, left side, couple of yards there before he is stopped to bring up about a 2nd and 8.
I was surprised that Sanders, ran it out of bounds. I thought he was able to probably turn a little bit more and get some extra yardage, but that was good stop right there by the Woodlands, trying to take that 33-yard play and end it right when they could.
Yeah, he's probably surprised more than anything because there just has been no room to work with here tonight against this Highlander defense until that carry. It's by far their best run of the night. Flips it out, quick hitch pass to the left side, looking for the first down. They've got it. First down, Nimitz.
So that's actually Nimitz's 4th first down tonight.
I'm surprised it's 4, actually, Jackson. When you tell it to me, I'm like, wow, they've got 4.
Well, 2 came off of penalties.
No, well, yeah, there was that.
Well, the Woodlands hasn't really been getting many first downs because they're scoring without having to.
Yeah, exactly, and having such great field position when they have their drives. So
Exactly.
Shotgun 3 receiver set here for Nimitz, 1st and 10. Going to run up the middle. 4 yards on the carry, 8:15 and counting in the second quarter.
So 93 defensive lineman Jack Miller there for the tackle. Only allowing them to get 4 on that carry. Maybe the defense is getting a little gassed. I'm not trying to say anything negative about this Highlander defense. They have a nice lead to work with.
Yep, they have been put on the field very quickly given the offense is scoring so quickly on the other side. Bunch formation here for Nimitz, 4 receivers back to pass. Heavy pressure up the middle. Whitehead sidesteps it, tries to throw to the right, but incomplete. Was looking for number 5, Darius Keene on that sideline. Bring up a 3rd and 6, 7:37 on the clock.
I saw Miller able to get a little swing move off of the guard and was getting over to Whitehead, but Whitehead just was able to break right, get out of the pocket, and extend the play to try to throw the incomplete.
And for our listeners coming up here at halftime, Jackson and I are going to hit the internet and try and find you as many scores as we can from around the state here tonight. Ball on the ground.
And that is recovered right there by the Woodlands. That was number 94, Mitchell Blakesley. Looked like Whitehead was throwing didn't have a good grip on the ball. Nope, he didn't even go back to pass. It just came out of his hands as he was getting set to throw, looking at his receiver. But Blakesley right there to recover, and that was one of the better field positions of the night for Nimitz, as the Woodlands are going to start 1st and 10 at their own 27.
Yeah, impressive fumble recovery there by the Highlanders. Yeah, ball just hitting the deck, and good job getting on top of it. So the Highlanders are going to start this possession on their own 26-yard line, 7:30 to go. Motion across with Williams. Fake. Matoyer looking deep over the middle. Oh, it's going to be picked off by Nimitz. Now they're running back the other way.
So that was Armand Bailey. He was keeping an eye on Ethan King in the middle of the field, was able to pick off Matoyer. That's Matoyer's 4th interception of the year. I said 4th interception of the year.
Yeah, just an insanely productive year for Matoyer. You don't see that too much. And, yeah, thinking back to that pass, and didn't see a whole lot wrong there. Maybe the ball just hung up there a little bit, but just landed a little bit short, it looked like. So the Nimitz defender was able to undercut that post attempt, pick it off, and try and run it around the left side. So Nimitz has another chance here in scoring position. Ball on the 26-yard line of the Woodlands. Going to hand off left side to Allen. He will gain 3 or 4 yards here. Bring up 2nd and 6.
So not a lot of movement right there from Nimitz.
Yeah, a couple of back-to-back turnovers there, Jackson. We hadn't seen that all night until just now.
No, everything's been favorable for the Woodlands. They've been able to get an interception, get a fumble recovery, but that was the first turnover tonight by the Woodlands, and they don't turn the ball over that much.
No, and this is kind of one of the things you look for as a coach, too. Sudden change. How does my team respond? So we'll see what the Highlanders do here. Shotgun for Nimitz, 2nd and 7. Back to pass. Looking right side, complete to Allen. Initial Highlander defender was there, but running back shook him off. It's going to be close to a first down, but it looks like a couple of yards short there, Jackson, of the stick.
Yeah, Crad was there again, number 11 for the Woodlands. He was keeping an eye on there by number 23, Joseph Sanders. And Woodlands was actually bringing 4 linemen that time. I saw number 9, Ethan Scott, lined up on the end, trying to get past the tackle, make his way over to Whitehead.
Yep, so we have 3rd and 3 now. Nimitz with a 4-receiver formation, 5:54 and counting until half. Our count run up the middle. Allen, he's going to have the first down and get just inside the 15-yard line, it looks like.
Looks like that was Cradigan and Stark. So that is another Nimitz first down as they are finally inside the red zone. So it'll be 1st and 10, ball at the 14. They're lined up on the right hash mark.
And Nimitz moving towards the south end zone here in the second quarter, so they've got the wind in their favor. Trips receiver set. Shotgun. You're going to motion out of the backfield, so empty. Quarterback going to try and keep it. Faked like he wanted to throw a screen to the left, but the Woodlands, of course, not too fooled by that. Going to pick up maybe a couple yards. As we near the 5-minute mark remaining in the second quarter.
Pondit and Payne right there. I like that, Pondit and Payne.
Yeah, that's
right there for your tackles.
Great defensive combination of names right there.
Payne.
Pondit and Payne.
Payne.
Yeah. Yeah, Payne, you've got to play defense with that name. Really can play anywhere on the football field with that last name.
Release the pain.
Yeah, exactly. I had a kid named with the last name of Commander in my high school class. That was pretty cool. Shotgun. Going to throw slant route incomplete.
Pondit coming with the blitz. Able to hit Whitehead with the incomplete. Woodlands making some substitutions. Seeing Miller come off the field. They're going to.
So 4 minutes, 31 seconds remaining until half here. 3rd and 8 on the down and distance as Nimitz tries to find a little bit more success and put something positive on film here before the half. Look at this Nimitz roster, and it is extremely young overall. I see a ton of sophomores, and there are even a really kind of big handful of freshmen that I'm seeing on here. So very young Nimitz team from the looks of it, just kind of looking up and down their roster for the first time this season, given we obviously haven't seen them here in this district, Jackson.
Yeah, and the fact that, you know, they're young, and the fact that they've also made the postseason at this type of squad, a lot of, like you said, a lot of sophomores, a couple seniors, but if they have this young of a roster, they can most likely try to run it back again next year, depending on how well everything works in their favor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I grew up at a point in time in the Houston area when the Aldine schools were among the most dominant in the Houston area. In fact, as I was growing up as a young kid, it's like, yeah, programs like Aldine High and Eisenhower were two of the major reference programs in the Houston area, along with Jack Yates down on the south side. Those were some of the most successful programs that the Houston area had produced. And, of course, as the 2000s came along, the power base, shifted away from Aldine, and that's actually when Westfield got really good, because Westfield actually didn't have much of a football program throughout the 90s, but then once the 2000s hit, it's like Westfield suddenly got the power shift, and then Aldine kind of weakened a little bit. Here is Nimitz shotgun.
Little reverse.
End around, yeah. Nice little creativity from Nimitz, but the Woodlands snips it out really quickly with some good speed to the football there. Going to bring up 4th down, Jackson.
Darius Keene, like you were saying, a little bit of trickery gives it to him, and they were able to not get fooled too much. As getting back to the line of scrimmage, the clan of Highlanders just made that tackle. It looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field for this 4th down.
Yep, down 49-7. You've got to just go for it and give your kids chances to make plays. And, again, in scoring position, got a reason to get something positive on film, so give them the chance to do just that. Shotgun 4 receiver set for the Cougars. Back to pass.
Whitehead thrown to the corner of the end zone.
Great job of high-pointing that football. It was a great catch, and that's going to be a touchdown to Nimitz.
I think that was – yep, there's a flag at the end of the play, but
Nope,
that was
there
Noah
is.
Allen in the corner of the end zone.
See if they're going to call more defensive interference here potentially, which would obviously be picked up given the result of the play. There's 3:37 on our clock until halftime. We'll get the call from the head official here. He's preparing to let us know what it is.
So that was Whitehead's 3rd touchdown pass of the night, his 2nd to Allen. The tandem been doing fairly well this season.
Got dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. The points are good. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
So maybe a little bit of flexing from Nimitz there after scoring that touchdown, which the officials were not too keen on, it seems like.
Well, Allen was able to just get up there. He had some nice hops, especially right there in the corner of the
High
end
snap
zone.
on the PAT. Holder somehow
No
gets
good.
that down. It's going to be no good on
No
the
good.
kick, though. Impressed that he could even get that ball down. And just notice Nimitz's kicker has some sweet, like, lime shoes going on, like soccer style.
That he does. That he does.
So after that missed PAT, the score is going to be the Woodlands 49, Nimitz 13, 3:37 to go until half. So Jackson, a little bit of success there for Nimitz.
Well, following the Matoyer interception, they had excellent field position, and being able to just continue to persevere and try to actually make something out of nothing. Just getting there, and Whitehead finding his favorite target. Back-to-back touchdowns from Allen tonight.
It's a really nice high-point catch there on that touchdown by the Cougars just a second ago. And, yeah, again, Nimitz, it's like you come into the playoffs as a fourth-place team with a young football team overall. It's like, you know, the odds are kind of stacked against you a little bit there. So coming out here tonight, obviously looking to try and put your best foot forward, but at the same time, it's like, you know, the reality of kind of what you're up against when you play against a team like the Woodlands that obviously has the talent that the Highlanders do and the goals that they do of going further in the playoffs this year after that early by-district exit a year ago. You know, the Highlanders just chomping at the bit to come out here tonight and just lay it down and just plant the flag and get things going here in the playoffs to make sure that they rally the troops there on that Highlander side and be like, yeah, this is a different year, different team. We're going to try and make a run here, hang around this playoff bracket for a little while.
And they had a big test earlier in the season going up against North Shore. They didn't win, but still, going up against the defending state champs, you think that's a good challenge ahead.
Extremely brave as Nimitz kicks this line drive back. Shane Walker fields it cleanly. He's got some room to run here. He's going to try the right side. Going to make a nice sharp cut and bring the ball out over the 40-yard line. Like they're going to spot it on the 42-yard line. So the Woodlands, great field position, plenty of time here to put even some more points on the board.
And actually, I wanted to correct myself. It wasn't the second touchdown to Allen. He's been favoring Allen a lot tonight. He's had at least 4 receptions. The touchdown earlier was to Keene because Allen was able to get the first play before the Keene touchdown.
Yeah, and those are a couple of senior leaders on this Nimitz team, Adarius Keene and Noah Allen, along with Whitehead, of course. Matoyer getting the snap, going to hand off, going straight up the middle again. Mitchell in some good space, going to gain 6 yards almost by default there, just on the sheer initial hole that was opened.
Just 3 yards shy of midfield, just at the 50.
And Jackson, can you confirm that was Mitchell and not Williams on that carry? I saw them both kind of get up there at the end. I felt like it was Mitchell that carried that.
Yeah, I believe that. Actually, I think that was Williams this time around.
Okay.
Now it's Mitchell getting the handoff. Bouncing back, running right.
Just pinball in there, but yeah, stacked up by Nimitz. He's going to lose a yard actually on that and take it back to a 3rd and 5 as we are at 2:48 and counting until half here. The Woodlands possesses all 3 timeouts. Nimitz has 1 timeout remaining. 4 receivers set here for Matoyer.
And they're moving right to left, going to the north end zone.
Yep, back to pass is Matoyer going to throw the screen back underneath. Self. Plenty of room. Self going to run, get the first down, no problem, into Nimitz's half of the field, all the way down to the 35-yard line.
So it's the first time we got to see Self get some action tonight.
Actually, you're going to spot it on the 37 of Nimitz, so easily moves the chains.
Looking at this Nimitz defense, they're looking a little winded. They've been pushed back a lot tonight.
Split back shotgun. Matoyer, he's going to ride the handoff with Gomez. Gomez around the left side into space up the sideline. 15, 10, 5. Show some muscle.
Woo!
Touchdown. Arquez Gomez.
Number 4.
Number 4 of the night. I had to think there for a second. But, yeah, he had his hat trick before, and now it is number 4. Gomez, very impressive run, and just all power at the end of that one, Jackson.
If you have your high school fantasy league going on, and I know that we don't have any apps for this, but you're getting a lot of points tonight.
Yeah, you're feeling like I did a couple of weeks ago when I had Christian McCaffrey going off for about 42 points on my team. That was awesome.
You threw a touchdown, received a touchdown, ran a touchdown, but that's the NFL. We don't care about that right now. We're caring about high school football on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Gomez just getting it done here tonight, and just a great weapon. Good to see the Woodlands getting him more and more involved as a runner as this season has progressed. Starzik booting the ball through. Kick is good, so that'll take our score to the Woodlands 56, Nimitz 13, 2:02 left in the first half. Yes, we are still in the first half, and the Woodlands has 56 points on the board.
So I believe that was a 36-yard run. I know that they were in Nimitz territory.
Yes, it was.
Okay, Gomez is a lot of the plays tonight have come from big plays because we have talked about there not being a lot of first downs by the Woodlands because they're just getting at least one big play getting down the field.
They're all big plays, yeah. When they've just had the one interception, that's really been the only negative play of the night for the Highlanders. But other than that, whenever they've run a play, it's going for a lot of yards. And the biggest reason I see for that watching the game here is just opening massive holes right there at the point of attack.
So as we stand by for kickoff, just like to also thank a lot of our sponsors that have been able to accompany us this season, that we are able to provide you. Unfortunately, without the video tonight due to UIL regulations, but still being able to give this to you on the stream here on our YouTube channel as Starzik kicks it off.
And caught by the Woodlands. Wow.
There's a flag following, but that was number 24, Tyler Honeyman.
Yep, a couple of flags hit. Took that kickoff right out of the air.
Waiting for the referees. They're over there at the 30. Looks like they're at the Nimitz 34. Just having a little conversation, a little powwow.
I mean, it traveled 10 yards, but what's the call here?
Maybe some unsportsmanlike conduct, a little bit of flexing at the end.
Interference. Kick. First down.
So it's going to be interference by the kicking team.
Did they call a catch interference there,
I think
Jackson?
so.
Interesting.
Don't see that often.
I feel like there might have been a little bit of mercy in that call from the officials, given the nature of the score, because I'm pretty sure what the Woodlands just did there was completely legal.
Oh, and here comes the rain. The rain's coming back down.
Yep. Rain coming back down as we can see it come down in earnest here now.
Seeing the students scatter like roaches once the light comes on in the living room.
Yeah, exactly. Umbrellas coming on, the ponchos are out. So they've been most of the night here. Everybody heading for the exits.
When the sun shines, it'll shine forever.
I didn't know we were getting I didn't know you had pipes like that, Jackson.
Well, you could stand under my umbrella, Ella A.
I might be here in a second with this, even though we are in the comfy confines of our booth here.
It's raining, raining. Ooh, baby, it's raining, raining.
All right, it'll be a 2nd and 15 for Nimitz. Minute 33 and counting, actually, running the clock here.
As the clock is still running, Whitehead with the handoff.
Allen, once again, trying that left side, trying to find space, wiggles forward for a few yards, but not much to work with.
Probably now with the rain coming down, they're going to try to favor this ground and pound. 3rd and long here, 3rd 13, just a minute, coming up on a minute towards the half.
Yep, not much you can do when conditions get like this. With the score being what it is, Nimitz probably just looking to get into the locker room. Timeout on the field.
So that's going to stop the clock at 52 seconds with a 3rd and 13 for Nimitz. They're at their own 45. We're just 52 minutes away from halftime. Wondering if the conditions that they're in, if we're going to actually get to hear any of our bands for halftime.
Yeah, probably the worst, not probably, by far the worst weather conditions I've ever experienced watching a football game was in 1997. I was watching a game at Tully Stadium between my high school, Katy, and Elsick. It was played in 35-degree sleet. And the drill team had to go out there and do a chair routine performance in sleet. So it's like every one of us was like wincing whenever they had to, those poor girls had to jump up there on those like metal fold chairs.
No, thank you.
With sleet falling on them. And it's like, really? We're ice skating out here?
I'm out. Big tree falls hard. I'm out.
Oh, yeah, that was just, brutal conditions to be in. But here we go. 4 receivers for Nimitz, 3rd and 13, 52 seconds until half.
Woodlands bringing 4.
Back
throwing
to pass.
downfield just out of Sanders' reach.
Actually, a pretty nice design to that play, Jackson. It could have been something there.
I was thinking they were going to be going with a run. They've been handing the ball off to Sanders, but just that design got him out. Little wheel route, just unable to come down with it. Good coverage right there by the Woodlands as the rain is still slightly coming down, but it came down hard for a second, but it's starting to die down some. But it's a 4th down. Nimitz going to keep their offense on the field. 47 seconds remaining here in the half. Whitehead drops back, looking, throws towards the sideline, and it is a flag down. It's going to be pass interference on number 19, Owen Cuff.
Yep, looked like a bit of a soft flag there at the end of that play, if I'm completely honest, but they will signal it here. We'll get the call from the head official.
Interference.
Yep, they are going to call that against the Highlanders. Going to give Nimitz a chance to stay alive here at the end of the second quarter. Try and get into scoring position. It's going to move the ball to the Woodlands 40-yard line after that call. 15 yards on the penalty. Yeah, I didn't see much in that just by looking at it there. 4 receiver set here.
Woodlands playing back.
Quick throw to the left side.
Seeing the safeties just start to move back before the play even started. They're trying to defend the end zone. They don't want anything to come up the middle of the field.
Yeah, exactly. Nimitz 0 timeouts, so the Woodlands happy to let them complete the ball in the field of play.
Hurry up. Snap, and it is intercepted by the Woodlands. That's number 19, Owen Cuff. Intercepts it, I think, at the 2.
Yep, senior defensive back on that pick for the Highlanders. See where it's ultimately spotted. 12 seconds to go until halftime there, Jackson. But, yeah, good job of coverage by a Cup there, picking that one off.
Wait, there's a... So they're going to have it as a touchback, so they're going to start at 1st and 10 at the 20.
And again, during halftime here, Jackson and I are going to hit the interwebs and try and bring you some scores here as we move towards the second half tonight. We will be with you as much as we can during halftime and maybe try and read off some of these results to you as we comb the state of Texas here tonight and see what else is going on.
But we also don't want to step on the drill team and the bands while they're performing.
Yeah, exactly. If they're out here performing and we can bring you that audio, we will give them priority, of course.
It looks like Woodlands is using one of their timeouts.
Yeah, during halftime, for those of you wanting to listen in on those performances, if we're able to get those units out here at half, I'm going to turn up the field mic for you here, so hopefully that comes across the stream a little bit better.
As the rain starts to pick back up.
Yep. Victory formation down on a knee, and that's going to take us into halftime. The Woodlands leading at 56-13 over Aldine Nimitz. Jackson, impressive first half from the Highlanders.
7 touchdowns by the Woodlands offense. You've had Gomez get 4 of those on the ground. I'd say that he's probably rushed fairly over 100 yards tonight. Unfortunately, can't keep track of every single time he is getting the yardage. I know that he's had at least 2 big plays of over 30 yards on the ground.
Yeah, and he's gaining those big chunk plays despite the fact that the Woodlands has really been operating in phenomenal field position for most of the night. And the story, as I see it watching the game here, is just complete dominance by the Woodlands on both offensive and defensive fronts here tonight. Nimitz just not able to match up there. And in the state playoffs, that's always just going to be a really tough task when the matchups are going that much against you. And the Highlanders just having it all their way here tonight. Very impressive start to the state playoffs for the Woodlands. Doing what was expected of them in this matchup, if we're honest. Yeah, heavily favored to get the win here tonight by Nimitz. But, of course, yeah, Jackson, you get in the state playoffs, and it's like all that stuff kind of goes out the window. It's like you get one shot for each week that you survive and advance in the playoffs to kind of put your best foot forward. And that's really the key, the challenge for teams. It's like when you get to the state playoffs, it's not about trying to become superhuman, become something you're not as a team. It's really about just executing the fundamentals of what make you the team you are all year, sticking with what got you to this point, and not getting too fancy. It's just like, yeah, just do what you do well, what you've been working on all year, and execute it cleanly. And again, we did see a few mistakes from the Woodlands in that first half in terms of penalties and that turnover they had, but other than that, just, yeah, good, clean execution otherwise.
What you're talking about, you know, just going in and having your game plan and sticking with what you know. Well, one of the things that has been different for the Woodlands tonight is they've relied heavy on the run, which they haven't done a lot this season. Matoyer has thrown for over 2,000 yards. They've only had, 2 touchdowns on the ground? Well, maybe, I guess you can count that Farrakhan shuffle pass as a touchdown because it did go forward. It wasn't a pitch behind. But they aren't really going because you had King, you had Walker, and then the Farrakhan. Everything else has just been on the ground for the Highlanders.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have the district stats in front of me immediately, but from what I recall seeing on there during the regular season, I don't think the Woodlands had a player in the top 5 rushing in the district, and I think they even barely just had one in the top 10 rushing in the district.
No, because they balanced it with 3. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, 3 or 4, yeah.
Nimitz is about to start their performance for us here tonight, so out of respect for them, we're going to let them do their thing, and before we come back in the half, we're going to recap a few things and give you a few more details. And the Woodlands, they're going to be receiving in the second half anyways.
Yes, they are. And, yeah, again, we will try and bring you some playoff scores from around the state as well when we come back. But, yep, for now, the halftime show is going to start, so I'm going to turn up the field mic for you. So hopefully that'll come across on the stream a little bit better for you. We will be back with you shortly. We're about a little over 21 minutes away from the start of the second half. Enjoy the halftime show. And we are back with you here from Woodforest Bank Stadium. The bands and drill teams have left the field. Rainy halftime here, Jackson. As those performances just finished up, we were kind of hunting for some playoff scores while we were watching the halftime shows there. We're just over 7 minutes away from the start of the third quarter here tonight. Of course, the Woodlands leading 56-13. Highlanders do get the ball to start the third quarter. One of the scores I wanted to bring you all here tonight was the one that affects us directly here, because the winner of our game here tonight, looking like the Woodlands, of course, will play the winner of this game here, Cy Ranch and Klein Cain. Cy Ranch currently leading that game 14-9. It's actually kind of an upset there. Klein Cain, the favored team to win there. Not a huge upset, but definitely kind of going against the odds there so far, with Cy Ranch ahead by 5 points in that one, and potentially weather affecting a lot of games around the area. And I also looked up during halftime there that New Caney was having a little bit of trouble with Eisenhower. That game was a 7-6 game, I believe I read, in the second quarter.
New Caney is now, what, 14?
14. Yeah, and the other one that Jackson actually showed me was that huge score down at Westfield. Jackson, let him know what's going on there.
Well, just down over there, south of us over at Planet Ford Field, Conroe is getting shut out right now. I believe the score was 62-0 from Spring Westfield. And the last time the score was updated was at halftime. So going into the half, 62-0, down over at Planet Ford Stadium, just south of us here.
Yeah, it just looks like a bad matchup there for the Tigers overall. And, yeah, it's been evident really for most of the regular season that Westfield, is the big dog coming out of that 14-6A district this year. They're the one that district will be kind of pinning their hopes to as the playoffs advance, and seeing how far the Mustangs can go. And I'll pull up this Region 2 Division 1 bracket that the Woodlands is a part of and just kind of read these matchups off for you here real quick. And I'm going to do it in the order of the bracket. So I'm going to start with Wiley and Mesquite Horn. That is the District 9 and 10 first matchup in the bracket. And underneath that is Duncanville and Bryan. So the winner of that Wiley-Mesquite Horn game will play the winner of Duncanville and Bryan. Of course, the Duncanville Panthers, undefeated. They've been one of the premier top 3 programs in the state of Texas here recently, and they're right up there again this year. So the Panthers, they are the number 1 contender here in this Region 2 Division 1 bracket. Expected to be the team that does get to the semifinals, but we'll see. Play the games for a reason, so we'll see if anybody can kind of upset that apple cart a little bit and beat the Panthers to it. Then you have the Woodlands and Aldi Nimitz, our game here tonight, of course, followed by Klein Cain and Cy Ranch. So in this pod, you've got Duncanville, the Woodlands, and Klein Cain are probably regarded as the top 3 teams here, even though Klein Cain currently down to Cy Ranch by 5 points, as mentioned to you a moment ago. In Woodlands, well out in front here tonight, looking great to advance to the second round, playing the winner of that Cain-Cy Ranch game. So although tonight, very much in favor of the Woodlands on the scoreboard, the playoffs will get very difficult starting next week. And that's what you expect this time of year. It's like you're going to play somebody good the longer you survive and advance. And the Woodlands would be looking at Duncanville in the third round if they're able to push it that far. In the lower half of the Region 2 Division 1 bracket, you've got Rockwall playing Garland-Saxe, another Dallas area matchup. And then under that, you've got Temple and Waxahachie. Have to make sure I always say that right, Waxahachie, for the uninitiated.
Gesundheit.
Exactly, yes. And Spring Westfield Conroe, the score we just referenced. And then finally, Bridgeland and Klein Collins. So in the lower half of the bracket, you don't have that clearly dominant team like you do in the top half with Duncanville, and then the Woodlands would be the second favorite after the Panthers. In the lower half, you can see a few teams coming out of there. You've got Rockwall and Westfield and Klein Collins, 3 really good teams. I could see either one of those 3 get into that fourth round game against either the Woodlands or Duncanville if things kind of play out as expected.
Well, I do have an update on that Klein Collins-Bridgeland game. Klein Collins is up 48-7 in the third quarter right now.
Yeah, Collins, really impressive team this year. I was able to see them a little bit on film earlier this year and got some really impressive athletes on that team this year in the Klein district this season. It's been Klein Collins and Klein Kane kind of leading out from the front in that district. Looks like Collins having the easier night of those two Klein schools so far.
And we are just 2 minutes away from getting this play back underway here at Woodforest Bank Stadium. Woodlands are already outside warming up right now, trying to get limber after the nice little halftime break. I have to say, Woodlands playing a little Louie Louie from the band. Nice little rendition. Always like hearing Louie Louie.
Yeah, and these rain games are the most fun to be in the student section. Of course, be in the band. You're just kind of letting it go, having a little fun out here. It's like if you're going to be kind of cold and wet, you might as well have fun with it. And appear to be doing just that, even as fans were kind of running for cover there towards the end of the first half. Looking down on the stands right now, I can see the umbrellas are really getting a workout from the way the wind is kind of kicking up down there. It'd be tough for people to kind of maintain those open umbrellas, but the ponchos ought to do the job. I'm usually a poncho guy in these conditions over. I don't want to have to hold an umbrella because who knows what's going to happen with that.
A little Mary Poppins action happening.
Yeah, exactly. I've done that once or twice and vowed to never let that happen again in conditions like this. I'm just like, yeah, I'll wear a poncho and just let the chips fall where they may.
Well, I'm more of a guy that I'll just have my hoodie on, put my hood up, and go to the concession stand, get myself a nice warm beverage. Hopefully they have some hot chocolate there, maybe some coffee. I'm more of a coffee guy myself. I try to limit my caffeine intake. If I did have a little bit too much, I'd probably be like the Tasmanian devil up here, and you don't want that.
Yeah, that would be a sign. I mean, we've already had you singing to us in the first half there, so I wonder what caffeine, would kind of accelerate that a little bit.
A little bit. I do talk a little fast. I have to catch myself from time to time.
Yeah. Be like one of those speed rappers potentially if we get some caffeine in you.
You don't want that. You don't want that. Do we have any cocoa down there? Can we get me some cocoa? Can we get someone to get me some hot chocolate? Is that a possibility? No? Okay. I'm just asking the people behind me here, doing a great job, providing us a lot of information here in the booth. Just bringing this to you here on the YouTube channel. On the YouTubes, yes, I said on the YouTube. Or the gram, as the kids say it. They usually label stuff the nowadays, right? I don't know.
Well, you might as well, yeah.
Might as well. But so far tonight, it has been all Woodlands, 56-13 over Nimitz. Woodlands favoring a lot of the ground and pound. A lot of big runs from Gomez. Had a 37-yard touchdown, 7-yard touchdown, 21-yard touchdown, and another 8-yard touchdown. But 75 yards at least on the ground with 4 scores. That's pretty good right there for the senior.
Yeah, it was. Very good first half here for the Woodlands and Jackson. I'm expecting here in the second half that we're going to see a lot of Patrick Miller at quarterback from this point on. You would expect to see a ton of rotation, obviously, here in the second half, getting a lot of players involved, and some of which, maybe our first time kind of seeing them this year, because as always on playoff rosters, there are kids that get moved up from the sub-varsities, get their chance to practice with the varsity, and if the conditions are right, maybe even get in during a game here in the playoffs, and this is a perfect opportunity for just that. So be interesting to see if we see some new young players that we have not yet seen for the Woodlands yet this season.
I was calling the senior night game, and Miller did actually get a couple series in the second half because it was all Woodlands that game too.
Yeah, Miller, very good as a backup quarterback. I've gotten to see him on a few occasions here this season as well when they've mixed him in. And, yeah, the Woodlands, you can tell they trust him to come in no matter what the situation is in the game. Extremely capable, throws a really beautiful ball. And, the offense really does not miss much of a beat when he comes into the game. I don't think they miss it at all. Just really good player, nice athlete, too, when he gets split out at receiver on occasion as well.
It's that next man up mentality, just making sure you stay ready, never got to get ready.
Yep, always very important to have another signal caller that's ready to come into the game. It's like you mentioned a little bit earlier there, the Woodlands opened the season by playing at North Shore. Not a whole lot of people raising their hands to want to go play that game this year. North Shore lost their starting quarterback a few weeks into the season, so they've been having to dig deep into their talent pool. to find a new player there as Nimitz teases up. Started the second half. Nimitz kicking to the south end zone, moving right to left as we look at it on the screen.
Shane Walker on the return.
Walker
still
returning. Out over the 35, going to be tackled at the 37-yard line. Again, the Woodlands will be moving towards the north end zone or right to left as we are looking at it up here in the press box.
And you called it, C. Miller, number 10 for the Highlanders. He's going to be leading this offense here in the second half. Last couple games that I've seen Miller come in, it's been Woodlands all first half. Miller comes in, close it out the second half, gets some reps, especially with the first team offense. See how the junior comes in.
Yep, and as you mentioned, another junior, so somebody that they're going to be able to hold on to next year, so quite the luxury to bring two quarterbacks into 2023, but plenty to take care of here in 22 as the first carry goes to Branson McShaffrey, it looks like there.
McShaffrey gets 7, waiting for the spot. Maybe it's 6 off of that as he just runs to the strong side.
Yep, looks like 2nd and 3. They're going to give him 7 on that.
Okay. But the first half, it's been 347 yards for this Highlander offense. Pretty close to their regular season average. They've already outscored their regular season average of points on the board, which was 45.
Yeah, and really impressive given all the short fields that they're working with. Run around the left side, into space goes Williams up the sideline, going to have the first down out across midfield, down to the Nimitz 43-yard line after that carry, left side. Again, just what we've seen all night here, the Woodlands just dominating up front, opening up huge holes for the running backs to exploit.
And from the offense, I think they're going to be keeping that rotation. I don't think we're going to be seeing that much of Gomez for the remainder of the night, but you're going to be seeing some more Jacoby Mitchell. You're going to see some Branson McShaffrey, a couple counters as we have ourselves our first time out of the half.
Yep, 10:50 on the third quarter clock here, 1st and 10 for the Highlanders when play resumes here in a moment.
And if you didn't know, this is Jeremy McGrail. I'm Jackson Cochran, being your voices to accompany this game here at Woodforest Bank Stadium tonight.
And, of course, not knowing how the playoff schedule is going to play out, we hope we can be with you again even after tonight.
Wait, do we have to?
So, I want to.
Oh, okay. Then I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, I hope we get a fair few of these games to call here. But, of course, we don't yet know how flips are going to
This is the first time they've gone under center tonight.
Yeah. Pitch straight toss back to Williams. Going to be into open space around the right side. He's at the 20, 15, 10, 5, and pushed out right about the 1-yard line. Not quite going to get in the end zone. Yeah, they are going to mark him out at the 1, Jackson.
So that's 43 yards on the ground, getting out of bounds.
How about that? We just did a time warp back to about 1950 on that play call. Under center, just straight toss back.
You don't see that many offenses go under center anymore, especially with the prominence of the spread taking over. A lot of these players doing shotgun, but you still see quarterbacks in the NFL go under center and take snaps that way. And some of these quarterback coaches that have these high school kids that come see them, they do go back to those old ways like, hey, you might want to be doing a lot of shotgun passes, but we're going to actually get you under center. You're going to take some snaps because you never know whenever that time comes.
Shotgun flip on the jet sweep around the left side. Touchdown, Highlanders, and that's Jason Williams on that score from 1 yard out. They let him finish it off.
So Williams, 44 yards down the field, gets a score. That's going to be his first touchdown tonight as the Woodlands extend this lead, pending the point after. They're up 62-13. What'd you see on that drive you liked a lot?
Yep, 9:57 remaining on the third quarter. And, yeah, just more dominance up front, just getting into all kinds of space with the ground game. And I think that's the first time this year that I've seen the Woodlands actually use that wrinkle, that under center kind of wing tee style look almost. They would run that style of play to Williams last year at times. Really hadn't used it at all this year, but there they just get up under center in that two-back set and do just a really short, straight toss back to Williams. Does the rest, does a nice little nifty run around the right side, just barely kept out of the end zone, but then they finish it off right after that on the little kind of jet sweep shovel, if you will.
I have to give it to this ROTC crew from the Woodlands High School. They are getting on the field, doing push-ups after every single score. 63 push-ups tonight by them. My arms are already sore just watching them. I can't. I just can't. It's too much for me.
Yeah, they're going to be absolutely jacked after this game tonight, doing all this workout here. They're doing like the Jocko Willing thing out there right now. They're just getting after it.
They've been getting at least 45 a game.
Yeah.
I need to get on that training regimen.
Yeah, but Starzyk putting the ball down here again. 9:57, third quarter clock. The Woodlands up 63-13.
They're kicking to the north end zone. Ball's on the left hash, closer to us on the Woodlands sideline.
See if Starzyk has any shenanigans in mind, or if he's just going to do a standard pooch.
That's a great restaurant.
And a nice high pooch. They're going to fair catch it that time. And Nimitz going to start the possession on their own 28-yard line.
So Nimitz, I'm curious to see what Coach had to give him a talk about in the locker room during halftime, what adjustments they're going to make, try to get down the field, get some more points on the board. But we know that this Woodlands defense is well-conditioned, and they are going to do their best to not let them cross the plane and get into their own territory.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough when you're at a big disadvantage in the trenches. But, yeah, Nimitz coming out here trying to execute as best they can, do what they've done all year. Shotgun set here. They're going to run with – looks like, is that Allen on the carry, or Sanders rather?
That was Sanders.
Yep. Get him confused with the receiver, who is Noah Allen.
So they get there they just get back to the line of scrimmage where it's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Woodlands. Nimitz in the all whites have that resemblance to a Michigan Wolverine helm as they're moving left to right to the south end zone. Wind still blowing. Whitehead in the gun. Allen in motion. Drops back. Allen looks as it is an interception from the Woodlands. It's number 15, Luke Jones, as the ball comes out. I think that was Kalen Washam's hands. And Woodlands is going to start back in the Nimitz territory following the turnover.
Yeah, Jones just in perfect position there to be able to make kind of what looked like a diving interception. We're watching the replay here now on the video screen. Yeah, just went through the hands of the Nimitz player, and then Jones just kind of comes in diving there and making a nice catch there at the end of that one to seal the interception and change of possession yet again for the Highlanders. So here the Woodlands is going to start on the Nimitz 32-yard line.
Got Miller and Mitchell in the backfield.
Yep, Miller and Mitchell back, 4 receivers in the formation, 2 to each side of the formation. Quick throw out, Miller, complete. Going to be tackled for a loss, though. Didn't get the number on that catch.
I think that was number 80. I think that was – no, that wasn't Scott Starzyk. Who was that? No, that was 86.
86.
That was Bryce Cooper.
Yep, junior receiver for the Highlanders on that catch. Wrestled down for a yard loss. It's a quick hitch throw.
Sometimes these numbers get bunched and we have to do a double take. My apologies. Miller in the gun. Mitchell in the sidecar. Drops back. Actually hands it off to Mitchell. Running up the middle. Finds open lane and is tackled. Gets the first down. Moves the chains into the red zone. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 16.
Yeah, nice run up the middle by Mitchell into all kinds of space there. Just wrestled down before he can burst through for the TD, but more success for the Highlander offense. Miller back here, 4 wide shotgun. Looks to the sideline to get the play call. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Coming up to 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter, 1st and 10. Motion into the backfield. Going to toss going across the formation. Again, around the left side. That's Jackson Bolander, it looks like, on that carry. Going to pick up just a few there, Jackson.
Yeah, that was Jackson Bolander on the carry, getting a little shuffle pass. Just a few yards, but at least they're in the black, keeping positive yardage, not trying to get penalized or get pushed back while they're here in the red zone. Rain's kind of coming back a little bit, a little mist coming with the wind. As Miller is in the gun, they're going to be changing it. Looks like they're getting a different play call from Coach. Ball lined up on the left hash. Mitchell to Miller's left. And the snap. Drops back, 3-step drop. Looking to the right side of the field, corner of the end zone. There is a flag, and it is incomplete. Pass was intended. Looks to be it was for Aiden Self 2 men on the coverage, but there was a flag thrown from the back of the end zone waiting for the penalty from the line judge, or the referee, my bad.
Yeah, early indication is against the Woodlands, potentially a hold, but we'll see. Was thrown in the area of a hold.
Holding on the offense, number 64, 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Good eye on that, Jeremy, catching the hold. Going to push him back 10 as they are now lined up at their own 24. So 2nd and 17 for the Highlanders.
Yep, ball on the Nimitz 23-yard line here.
23.
7:07 left on our third quarter clock. 4 receivers set, 2 to each side here for Miller.
Self goes in motion. Gets another handoff up the middle. And that is Mitchell getting extra yardage, finally tackled as he is brought down at the, let's say it's the 14. They're going to mark him down at the 14, so it's going to be 3rd
and 8.
3rd and 8. With 6:40 remaining here in the third quarter. Miller in the backfield. Looks like it's Bullender and Mitchell. Another handoff. Delay handoff to Mitchell. Just right in between the tackles as he is finally brought down just for – they're going to get him 1 extra yard, so it's going to be 4th and 7. And it looks like they're just going to keep the offense on there. They're not going to bring out the field goal unit.
Oh, here comes Starzyk
there they
now
go.
late. Because you know he's got the leg for it.
He has the leg
for a lot more than this. It's basically a PAT for him.
This is actually his first official field goal of the night. Everything has been point after.
Yeah.
So the offense just coming out.
Be 29-yard field goal.
Snap.
Left hash.
Hold kick as he splits the uprights. And that is now 66. The Woodlands, Nimitz 13.
Route 66, 5:44 remaining in the third quarter. All Highlanders here tonight. Have this first playoff win wrapped up here in just a bit. But the Highlanders just trying to execute, do what they do here to finish this game off here tonight the right way. Put some good things on film for all these players that are getting to rotate into the game now. And as we'll see throughout the rest of proceedings here tonight, both sides of the ball, going to be some wholesale rotation, get everybody a chance out there. Let some players get some film. Be valuable for all these guys to be able to have some reps to go study back on tape after this one's over. See themselves out there. And especially for some of these younger guys that have just moved up, it'll be kind of the one chance they get here in the playoffs, most likely to get some film footage of themselves.
So Starzyk placing the ball on the left hash to kick it off. Still, I believe it's still Allen and Sanders back to return for Nimitz. Starzyk's just been given these pooch kicks lately, as he does the same as it's high, and it's going to be signaled for a fair catch by Nimitz. And that was Darius Keene at their sideline, close to their sideline. So it'll be a fresh set of downs right here to start off for Nimitz, coming back on the field with their offense as they trail the Woodlands 66-13.
Yeah, Nimitz will start this possession on their own 27-yard line after that reception on the pooch kick.
Lining up with 3 wide receivers to their right. Whitehead and Sanders in the backfield.
Direct snap there.
Over to Sanders as he only gets, looks like he's going to be favored 2 yards. So it'll be a 2nd and 8 as it's 5:30 remaining here in the third quarter. As Nimitz getting a play from their sideline from the coaches. Offense lining up, still in the shotgun. Sanders to the right of Whitehead, lining up with 3 wide receivers right. Whitehead rolls right, looking down the field, throws to the sideline. It is going to be an incomplete pass as it was intended to number 2, Kalen Washam.
Yeah, and an update on the game that will play, the winner of this game, of course, the Woodlands will play Klein Kane or Cy Ranch, and those two are tied at 17 apiece with 5 minutes left right now.
In the entire game, 5 minutes remaining?
Yes, 5 minutes left in that entire game. Klein Kane just scored and converted a 2-point to tie the game with 5 minutes left.
Whitehead lined back up in the gun. Sanders to the right of him, or to the left of him as he drops back. 3-step drop, looking down the field. Wheel route. And
had the man open.
He had Sanders just right in his hands.
Missed opportunity there for Nimitz, bringing up that 4th down, Jackson.
You could see that he was not happy with that. He knew that he had his man beaten. That could have been reservations for 6.
And sorry, Jackson, real quick. Klein Kane has just taken the lead over Cy Ranch. 3 minutes left. 63-yard touchdown for Klein Kane gives them a 24-17 lead over Cy Ranch. 3 minutes remaining in that game.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy, for providing us with those updates tonight. Thank you for keeping an eye on that as they are back to punt. Noah Allen is going to be the punt man for Nimitz. As it gets kind of a rugby-style kick, gets it to midfield, favoring a bounce as it rolls to the Woodlands 40-38, and they finally call the play dead at the 37.
Yep, 37-yard line where the Woodlands will take this possession. Looks like now Thomas Fint is going to check into the game at running back for the Woodlands based on the huddle I'm seeing down on the field. There he comes. So it'll be Patrick Miller back at quarterback. Now Thomas Fint in the game at running back, the senior. Seen him a few times this year. 4 receivers in the set for Miller here, 2 to each side of the formation. 1st and 10. 4 minutes, 44 seconds left in the third. Woodlands, of course, leading 66-13. Run up the middle. Finta gets to work right away. Going to pick up 3 or 4 yards there.
Looking to try to truck right there at the very end. Just get stopped right in his tracks, unfortunately. Trying to truck a man. But still gets 4 yards on the carry. As Finta still in play. Then you also can see Jackson Bolander in the backfield.
Yep, split backs, shotgun formation here for the Woodlands on this 2nd and 6.
Another handoff up the middle. That was Finta again. So Woodlands is just going to continue to most likely go with the ground game just to try to chew up some clock so everybody can go home.
Yeah, exactly. No reason to sit in these elements for longer than needed. The win obviously well in hand for the Highlanders here, so just execute some fundamentals and then get out of town here tonight with the win intact and surviving and advancing.
Why are we going out of town? We're already home. We're here.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Good point.
See? Miller in the gun, drops back, looking, breaks. Nope, he's about to get, he gets sacked right there. That's 2 Nimitz players on the sack. That was number 8, Jalen Shields, and 24, Robert Lott. Sacking Miller in the backfield, able to not throw the ball away or trying to live to see another play. So it's going to be 4th and 8 right here for the Highlanders as they bring the punt team out. I think, yep, that starts it back to punt. As he just boots it down. Oh, that's a favorable bounce right there. Nimitz still comes up with it as they are going to start this next possession at their own 32. I wasn't expecting the ball to bounce back like that. What'd you think, Jeremy?
Yeah, I didn't see it checking up like that either. It was like a nice little kind of 9-iron or pitching wedge hit into the green there. Had the backspin on it.
As you can see on the defensive side, there's still a couple of the starters playing right now since the first string is still out there for Nimitz.
Yep, and of course on the Nimitz sideline, they've really only got the one string to play on both sides of the ball. Not a huge roster over there. So 5-yard pickup there on that first down run. And Sanders has really carried a big workload here tonight.
Yeah, it's been him and Whitehead and Allen. Majority of the offense has been going through those 3 players.
Yeah, we see a lot of young players on this Cougar roster overall, but yeah, the guys that they're leaning on are all seniors.
As Sanders is stopped behind the line of scrimmage, he is met by 4 Highlanders. One of them is the senior, number 94, Mitchell Blakesley.
He's had his name called about as much as Krat has here tonight, I feel like.
That is true. Krat, Stark, Blakesley, 3 guys. You don't see Weiwei a lot. They haven't been throwing in Weiwei's direction. I like saying Weiwei's name, Weiwei.
Yeah, well, after that early pick, yeah, you can't blame him for not trying to test that anymore after that big play made, I think, in the first quarter tonight.
Yeah, he's lined up right now on Karen Washram, number 4.
Oh, heavy pressure. Wow. That was Blakesley again, just completely untouched there, Jackson. Might want to block him.
You might want to. I'm just looking at the replay right here, and
I mean, everything's optional, but I would suggest putting a body on him, personally.
He was able to just bull rush right there, the guard, get in there and just tackle Whitehead for a big loss. It's going to be 4th and 15, just with a minute remaining here in the third quarter as the punt team comes back out, and Allen's going to try to punt it off again for Nimitz.
Yeah, Blakesley able to just run straight ahead, right into the backfield, untouched there. Every defensive lineman's dream, just untouched, straight path.
I think there was a false start by Nimitz, so they might push him back another 5. Actually, no, it was a timeout.
Nimitz, first time out of the half.
So this is Nimitz's first timeout of the half, with just 44 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. So we have 12:44 remaining in the game.
Yep, been a pretty quick third quarter here, as you would expect, because all the damage done in the first half for the Highlanders. No reason to come out here in the third quarter and have a bunch of clock stoppages. They're just out here executing, working on the running game as the backups rotate in for the Highlanders to get their action, just kind of keeping the ball on the ground, executing some fundamental football here to salt things away. This bi-district playoff game here tonight for the Highlanders. Getting this win out of the way, and then they'll, of course, wait and figure out who they'll play against next week and where it will be. We don't know anything about that right now, so we'll all just find out together.
We wanted to be here, right?
Yeah, we'd like it to be here so we can be back with you calling the game, because I feel like, yeah, next week's game is going to be a pretty good one.
Here's a snap for Allen. Nice high kick as it's going to drop and bounce back deeper into the Highlander territory. And they will call it down at the, what is that, the 18?
18-yard line.
That's one of the best punts of the night for Allen.
Oh, it is, for sure. For Nimitz, it's their best result on field position of the night, for sure. The Woodlands has been operating in their half basically all night.
A lot of offense from these guys in red tonight.
Yeah, just completely overwhelming in the matchups for the Woodlands. I always say in the playoffs that matchups make fights. And this has been very one-sided in that regard here tonight. Be a different story next week, I believe, as run around the right side for the Woodlands into open space. This is going to go the distance, hits the open field, 30, 20, 10, 5, and touchdown Highlanders. We have punched the 70-point barrier.
So that was Aiden Self, 82 yards for number 85.
Yeah, just hit the lane with all kinds of speed there. Just outstanding carry.
I was going to just say that the running back who decided who they actually substituted in for the game was going to be Santiago Perez Alvarez. And as I was looking up, the play had already started before I could let you know what was happening. And we're still in the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's junior Aiden Self there on that touchdown. Just put his foot in the ground as he came around the corner.
The point after is good, so it is 10 touchdowns, 1 field goal tonight for the Highlanders.
Yeah, Justin, I was about to ask you if that was a straight handoff or it was another one of those shovel flips, and it looks like, yeah, it was just a straight handoff on a sweep, fly sweep.
Mm-hmm. Just able to find the lane, get in the open field, get in just 82 yards, and put on the burners.
Yep.
There was not a lot of people behind him as he was getting closer to the end zone.
Nope, looked like kind of a punt wall for him there as he came around that right side. 14 seconds left in the third quarter. 73-13 on the scoreboard in the Highlanders' favor. Much of what we've seen here tonight, those 1-play to kind of 3-play at most drives here for the Highlanders. When they get the playoff, it's going for big yards.
Yeah, the longest possession was actually the previous series whenever the Highlanders were able to get that field goal. That was the most time that they chewed off the clock this evening, especially just running the ball.
Yep. Yeah, they were working Finta there in the running game, and got Starzik down in position to knock that field goal through.
Sounded like you were about to do a little baby shark do.
Yeah, I tried.
Another high kick from Starzik as the Cougars are going to start this drive at their own 24. So that was number 5, Darius Keene.
I'd like to thank all of our listeners who were staying up late with us here, almost about 9:30.
What? This is late?
Local time.
This isn't late. What are you
It's
talking
late
about?
for me, man. I've got 2 boys, 2 young boys. This is late for a parent.
Well, I had 2 dogs
young
and a
boys.
cat.
It's like 8:30's late.
I understand that a lot of the teachers that are here working extra with us tonight, bringing on the broadcast, I understand y'all been up pretty early. I apologize.
Loss of a couple there for Nimitz on their first carry of this possession. Ball is spotted on their own 23-yard line after that loss of 2, bring up 2nd 12.
All I'm saying is the weekend. We need to have ourselves some fun. It's Friday night.
Absolutely.
Friday Night Lights. Not to be confused with the NBC series or the movie or the book.
Yeah, and even though we got a lopsided game here tonight, there is nothing better than the Texas High School Football State Playoffs. Been enjoying this most of my life, and it never gets old. Each year when the playoffs come around, I just get pumped up for it. And see a playoff bracket, and you get in that one-and-done format, and there's just nothing more exciting.
And we have concluded the third quarter. We are moving down to the opposite end of the field, as Nimitz will be moving from right to left to the north end zone. But whenever I was in school and I was doing a couple assignments on high school football, and I came out here to film one night, and some of my classmates, because I was an online student, and a lot of them were seeing, wow, that's a big stadium. I was like, oh, yeah, figures, Texas.
Yep.
So we do it a lot different here in Texas when it comes to high school football.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually was lucky enough to attend the South Lake Carroll Euless Trinity game in 2006, played in Texas Stadium in front of 65,000 people. I was able to be on the field and in the stands for that game. That was just astonishing.
So Whitehead rolls left, and he finds Allen. I think they got the first down. They're going to signal him for the first down, so yes. So the first play of the fourth quarter is a completion from Whitehead to Allen, where they will line up at their own 36 for a 1st and 10.
Yeah, and what was especially crazy about that South Lake Trinity game I was just mentioning is, it was a third-round game, and it was played in the old Texas Stadium. This was pre-Jerry World days, kind of in the last throes of the old Texas Stadium, and it went out with a bang in that game. Run around the right side for Nimitz. Woodlands is going to stack that up for a loss of a couple.
So the sophomores are getting some reps right now, as Sanders is taking some time off on the sideline, getting a little bit of a break. But Whitehead's still out there. You still have Keene. You still have Washam, Allen. Actually, the Washam brothers. You have Keelan and Cameron.
Yeah, exactly. 4 receiver set for Nimitz. The twins out there for Nimitz going to be here for a couple more years.
And that was a pass interference play right. So that was number 14. Looks like Shanahan on the coverage for the Woodlands. So it's going to be a 15-yard penalty and another first down for Nimitz.
Yep, and we've seen kind of the quick trigger on those pass interference flags here tonight. So Woodlands obviously recognizing how the game is being called there. Really the only thing that, coaches always find something that they can kind of get mad about when they watch a game back on film, and that'll be one of the things that I'm sure they yell a little bit about when they watch this back on film. So obviously, as you move forward in the playoffs, you're going to start playing some really talented football teams. The longer you stay in this, so defending athletes down the field becomes extremely important. You'll see that starting next week.
Play action from Whitehead as he connects with Keene. Little quick slant right there.
On the clock, we just moved under the 10:30 mark remaining in our game here tonight.
So it's going to be a second and I'd say it's a 2nd and 8 for Nimitz. Ball on the Highlander 49, right hash moving right to left. Another throw towards the sideline is get some open space. Not much, but get some positive yards. I'm waiting to see who actually caught the pass. A lot of players right there towards that sideline getting mixed in there. It was Keelan Washam, the sophomore. So it's 3rd and 3 right here for Nimitz. Lined up on ball on the right hash. Bunch receivers.
Yep, tight 4 receiver formation now, motion across for Nimitz. Back to pass, flushed out to the right. Incomplete pass, ball hits the turf.
He was looking for Washam again, and still no Sanders in the backfield for Nimitz.
Bring up a 4th and 3 now, down in distance, 9:26 on the game clock, which of course stopped on the incompletion. It's like the rain has let up entirely down on the field based on what I can see in the lights across the way here.
Yeah, some people aren't taking any chances, though. I still see umbrellas out, and I still see hoods up.
Yeah, exactly. Wind blowing.
4th down. Whitehead completes. He gets to Cameron Washam. Number 4, another first down. 9:15 here left in the game of regulation at the bank. Offense still out there. Fresh set of downs for the Cougars. Looks like the Woodlands are just still, basically sending just 3 men. Sneaking a linebacker here and there. I see 4 bunched on the line right now.
Yeah, exactly. They're, not getting crazy with things right now. They're just kind of playing their positions as they do there and stack up Nimitz in the backfield for a big loss.
Omar Thomas on the carry. Whenever they handed him the ball, he kind of did just a side shuffle, trying to wait for a hole to open up, and then finally gets tackled in the backfield. But he was ducking down a little bit, too, trying to sneak his way, trying to find some extra time before he was actually brought down.
Yeah, the light at the end of the tunnel in this case is just a red swarm of jerseys converging on the backfield as we've seen all night.
Very, very glim light. As Whitehead gets another reception thrown over to Keelan Washam. So it's going to be 3rd and 5 for the Cougars. They're at the Highlander 30, just under 8 minutes here in regulation. Offense lining up, staying in the gun. Pretty much been in the gun all night. 2 wide receivers left, 1 right. Noah Allen in motion as he's going to be finding his way in the flat. Whitehead throws downfield and connects, gets Darius Keene. That was a nice catch by Keene.
Really good catch. Yeah, Darius Keene there, senior for Nimitz. Diving catch over there on the sideline. It was a corner route that he ran. tough ball to throw and catch because everything you're moving away from it.
And able to reposition himself to come down with it.
Yeah, just a great catch because you have to do it kind of baseball style, like the old kind of Jim Edmonds circa St. Louis Cardinal days, kind of over-the-shoulder basket catch. Jim Edmonds, Ken Griffey Jr. style.
Chas McCormick climbing up the wall.
Yeah, to be
big
more
Game 5 catch.
Thank you for making it current, Jackson.
I got you. All right, that is Omar Thomas with the carry, breaking 2 tackles and finally tackled inside the 10. They're going to mark him at the 6. Actually, they're going to say he was down at the 5, so it's going to be 1st and goal. Ball at the 5 for Nimitz as they're trying to push their way into the end zone and go home with another score tonight.
Yep, looking to make something positive happen, get something else on film they can be proud of here.
Whitehead hands it back off to Thomas as he's met back at the line of scrimmage. Just a clan of Highlanders.
Yep, exactly. The Highlander defense there in no mood to concede anything easily. These players are out there going hard for the Woodlands that are rotating into the game here late also. As we see several subbing in here with each snap, doing their best to make sure they win defensively as well. Not out here to do any giveaways.
So back in that bunch formation in the gun, you still have Thomas in the backfield. Ball is on the left hash. Whitehead, Thomas to his right. Whitehead gets the snap, rolls right, looking downfield, throws towards the end zone as it is tipped by number, was that 24?
24. It was Honeyman.
That was Honeyman again on the tip.
Yep.
So it's going to be 3rd and 5, 5:50 remaining here in the game.
Yeah, and that was a very nice PBU there by Honeyman in the back of the end zone. Got his paw up there and knocked that one out of the back of the end zone. Really nice pass break up there.
PB and U?
Yep, exactly. PB and U.
PB and U.
Yeah, exactly how you want to do it as a DB, getting that hand up.
Would go for about a PB and J right now, but that's another story. Nimitz lining back up. Drop back by Whitehead, looking at the corner of the end zone, kind of a fade route, but he was looking for Allen as it's incomplete. They were lined up with 4 receivers on that, and it's 4th and 5 as they're going to keep the offense back on the field.
Yep, 5:44 left in our game.
As they're getting the play from Coach from the sideline, you still have the same personnel on the field. It's still the Washam twins, Allen, Keene, and Thomas in the backfield. And Thomas lined up to the right of Whitehead. Bunch formation. Keene goes in motion as he's going to the right flat, and he does throw to him, and it is incomplete. Turnover on downs. Just a low ball right there for Keene. And it was number 28 for the Highlanders. That was Andy Orr on the coverage, as the Highlanders will bring the offense back on the field starting at their own 5. The furthest I think they've been tonight, starting a possession, as the offense is making their way back onto the field with being led by Miller.
Now have confirmation, Jackson. Klein Kane wins 31-24 over Cy Ranch, so the Woodlands will play Klein Kane next week. We don't know where or when, so stay tuned on that, but it will be the Woodlands versus Klein Kane next week in the 2nd round.
1st and 10, handoff to Corey Jubert, number 39. The senior gets 5 as he starts for his first run tonight. A lot of seniors getting some extra play with the lead, so Miller in the gun. Jubert to his right.
Yep, 4 receiver bunch set here.
Look, we have ourselves a penalty. It was going to be a
procedure
shuffle pass that was going to be going to Eugene Caballos.
False
yep, there you go.
On the offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
And another pertinent score of interest to us in this district, New Caney 28, Eisenhower 6 final.
Wait, what was the score again?
New Caney 28-6 final.
Okay. So they're able to get something going in the second half.
Yep, apparently so. They're able to kind of ratchet things up on defense in particular, which we have come to expect from that New Caney team. One of the best defenses in the district here. Along with the Woodlands, they were the top two.
So 2nd and 10 for the Woodlands. Ball back at the 5. Jubert. Well, there was an incomplete pass thrown to 82 Braylon Sanders. So it'll be 3rd and 10 with just almost 4.5 left here. As offense, no substitutions, so we still have Jubert, still have Sanders, Caballos.
Yep, Miller pulling the strings at quarterback, of course.
As he's back in the gun, he's lined up at the goal line. It's another handoff to Jubert as he finds extra room and gets extra yardage.
Nice hard run by him there.
That was an angry run.
Yep.
Corey Huff was just on him, but Jubert able to get the first down.
Yep, moves it out to the 23-yard line. Yeah, just really good effort and exactly what you want to see as a coach. You get a guy in the game late there, and you want to see that effort run like his life depends on it there.
And see that 88 Kimo Kultis is in the backfield for the Woodlands. It's split back, and it's a handoff to 37 Alvarez as he runs to the left side and is tackled after 3, trying to get a little stretch, a little sweep action.
And number 88 that you just mentioned, Kimo Kuletsis, I believe, sophomore, we haven't seen yet this year, I don't believe.
Nope. I think a lot of other players are getting some extra time to get some reps.
Yeah, when I got this Woodlands roster, I did see a few new names on there, which you expect with the call-ups from sub-varsity.
Miller, split backs, handoff, up the middle, number 37. That was Alvarez again. Are they going to give him the first down? They give him the first down. What does that mean? I hear you in the background. It's a Highlander first down, 1st and 10, 3 minutes here. Ball at the 33, their own 33, lined up on the left hash, going left to right towards that south end zone. The wind has kind of died down a little bit. I'm not seeing those flags getting as active as they were earlier.
Yeah, kind of swirling a little bit downfield, it looks like, looking at the flags down in that south end zone.
So that's a handoff over to Luke Dana as he sweeps out the right side as he is pushed out of bounds.
Yeah, throws his shoulder at the end of that one and sends the Nimitz guy kind of flying there.
What now?
Is there laundry on the field?
I don't see any laundry. I think they're going to give him 6 instead of the 5, so it'll be a 2nd and 4. It'll be a 2nd and 4 as we're closing in on that 2-minute mark. Obviously, in high school football, we don't have the 2-minute warning.
Nope, just going to plow right through it here. Again, just salting away the final seconds of this game here tonight. Impressive, huge by-district win for the Woodlands.
As it's another handoff, but there is a penalty following the conclusion of the play. That was number 43. That was Dwayne Fazande Jr.
Yep, they're going to call a hold here. Back the Woodlands up.
On the offense, number 62, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Now we have ourselves, we're finally under the 2 minutes left here in the game. Woodlands, all Woodlands tonight, 73-13 over Nimitz. As we're trying to just get the clock to tick to 0. Woodlands just going to let this roll down a little bit as the play clock is now at 10, where we have the split backs in the shotgun. Miller handed it back off to Alvarez as he just runs in between the tackles and is brought down by 3 Cougars.
Yep, gets back the original line of scrimmage, bring up a 3rd and 9. Down in distance as we near the 1 minute mark remaining in our game here tonight. Again, we thank those of you who've been with us on this audio stream the whole way here tonight, enjoying this first round action. Again, I'm Jeremy McGrail here with Jackson Cochran.
Hello.
With you tonight, and we hope we can be with you again maybe a time or two again this season before all is said and done, but we have no idea how the games are going to fall location or time-wise, so we have to wait for that info before we can relay to you all kind of what CISD will be able to cover or not cover here as the Woodlands runs up the middle there, and they're going to be short of the line to gain for the first down. They got out to the 40. Bring up a 4th and 2, so Starzik's going to come out, send a punt away, maybe, but actually they can run the clock out here.
They can just run the clock out.
Yep.
Play clock's at 40. It's under
Yep.
We're at 15 seconds remaining in the game, and just a couple updates that we could give for you, especially throughout what the activity's been here for us at 13-6A. Conroe is going to be fault. It looks like they're not going to come out with the W against Spring Westfield, and trying to see any updates on Oak Ridge since they were the only other team that made the postseason, because we do not cover any of the New Caney games here on our Conroe Independent School District streams. But the Woodlands, as time expires in regulation, come out on top 73-13 to go to the second round. Jeremy?
Yep, second round. They're going to play Klein Kane next week, and again, we don't know where or when that game will be, so normally the teams would do a home-and-home flip, so I would, based on that information, it will be either here at the bank or over at Klein Memorial, depending on how that flip goes. If it is a home-and-home flip, which usually through the first few rounds it's going to be a home-and-home.
So Spring Westfield did defeat Conroe over at Plain Ford Stadium just south of us, 62-7, so Conroe was able to finally get on the board. And I'm still looking for any updates on Oak Ridge. Jeremy, you mind taking over for me?
Oak Ridge, yeah, we're looking for that score update for you here. But again, very impressive win by the Woodlands here tonight. Just complete dominance in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Just way too much for Nimitz to handle all around. So the Highlanders come out here and get it done tonight, kind of get a little bit of avenging of that loss they had to Spring last year, get out of the first round, get into the second round with what should be a very competitive Klein Kane team. I had the chance to watch Klein Kane on some video footage earlier in the year when they played Humble Summer Creek in non-district. It was a one-score football game. I want to say the final was something like 34-27 or kind of a 28-24 type of game. But anyway, very close football game between two very good teams. Summer Creek in the playoffs and Klein Kane obviously here as well. Klein Kane has a really good football team. They played some good defense this year. Displayed some good offense as well. They've got a really gifted power back that I saw on that team, so run defense is going to be important for the Highlanders next week in that game. Yeah, Klein Kane, kind of a newer program out there in the Klein area, but they've wasted no time kind of putting the flag down for their program. Had a really good year last year, and going into this year, people weren't really sure what to expect from Kane coming off of last year, but they picked up without missing a beat, and they'll be in the second round here against the Woodlands. So I'm looking forward to what should be a very good playoff game when the Highlanders meet up with Kane next week in that second round. You have very different occasion to tonight in terms of not being expected to be so lopsided on the scoreboard. So, yeah, be sure you attend that football game next week wherever it is. And if we have the chance to stream it, it'd be excellent. So we will obviously keep you posted on that info as we get it with the site. Jackson, yeah, any final thoughts before we sign off here tonight?
No final thoughts, but we appreciate everyone who has been with us tonight on the stream, and I want to thank our amazing staff bringing this to y'all, especially on your phone, your tablet, your smart TV, wherever you are watching us. We will just keep up to date with us on our social media platforms of Conroe ISD Athletics. We will let you know any updates. I was trying to see if I could find anything on Oak Ridge for you tonight. Unfortunately, I cannot. For those of you who have braved the elements that have come out here tonight, just best of luck, everyone. Stay dry, stay warm, especially coming up. I'm Jackson Cochran for Jeremy McGrail. You have yourself a great night, and we will get back in touch with you soon.